Hello and welcome back to another day here of the APEC 2023 season, final day of the knockouts. I'm Ilios here with Avril to guide you through both of our matches here, our grand finals for either side of the bracket, determine who is going to be moving forward to take that final auto seed spot in the playoffs.
What if we just don't explain it? Let's just play 2 games, and
we'll let them tweet it. And
whatever happens. And at the end of each game, we'll be like, I know what just happened here, but I'm not going to explain who actually qualified and who didn't. You're just going to have to guess.
I think that sounds like a pretty good idea. So yeah, we're not going to tell you guys anything other than what's happening in the game, but we're not going to say what the ramifications are for the match itself. So go ahead and you'll look at the Overwatch League Twitter at the end of the broadcast, and then I'm sure that they'll tweet out what all the results are 8 hours after they've happened, and then you'll know who's qualified and who's going to be going to Toronto and who's going to be playing in the play-in tournament. Yeah, there's a couple different things though, to be serious, that can happen here today. We've got 2 teams that are going to be competing that very much are in the running and could potentially get their spot in Toronto, as well as one team that has already clinched their spot. So Hangzhou Spark sitting pretty. This match for them, it's more about pride than anything else, beating down the fuel and maybe having some fun with the potential results.
Yeah, and so, let me explain the stakes. We have medium rare, well done.
We're off to a roaring start today.
You get ribs, you get lamb. 3 teams out of our 4 can actually make it, right? Hangzhou Spark, as you mentioned, they've already clinched. They're kind of just here for fun / pride / whatever they want to do today. They can do some really funny things if they like to. I'm not insinuating that's actually what they're going to do. Dallas, so they got some serious stuff happening here because they have the most direct pathway through. If they beat Hangzhou Spark in their Group A final today, they immediately in. That's the number one thing to consider. That Dallas, if they win, they go to Toronto. That's it. If they lose, they go to play-ins with the rest of the Overwatch League teams that unfortunately don't make it through this knockouts. If Dallas do not win and they go to play-ins instead, we look at Group B. Group B bracket is only relevant if Dallas lose. If Dallas win, Group B's final is just for fun as well. But between O2 Blast and Seoul Dynasty can't actually qualify. They have already been knocked out into play-ins technically, but they are still playing in the final. I know that's confusing, but essentially Dynasty are playing for fun, but O2 Blast have an opportunity. So if Dallas lose and O2 Blast can beat the Dynasty, then O2 Blast get to go to Toronto. They qualify to playoffs as a contenders teams. The first time that's ever happened in Overwatch League history. That would be insane, actually.
Yes.
If both those teams lose, if both Dallas lose and O2 Blast lose, which means Hangzhou and Dynasty win, then the Seoul Infernal, who played yesterday and got knocked into the play-ins, they actually get to qualify. They don't have to play the play-ins anymore. So that's how that works. The 3 teams in contention that can actually make it, the Dallas Fuel, O2 Blast, and Seoul Infernal. That's how that works. Hope you guys got all that. And if not, Ilios is going to explain it again, using probably less words.
Yeah, but the main thing for Fuel, we'll focus on that because that is going to be our opening matchup as we take a look here at Group A. It's a rematch between the Hangzhou Spark and the Dallas Fuel. The easiest route for Fuel is win game, go to Toronto. That's all they need to worry about. Everything else, anything else that they have in their brains, they need to shut that off because it's just going to be distracting them. So they need to come out here swinging. It was not pretty the last time that they played against the Hangzhou Spark. Hangzhou absolutely rolling them with some dive comps. Kuchway and the Doomfist looking incredible. Perhaps we'll see more of that today. We'll have to just wait and see. But Fuel need to have a very leveled up performance to take down the Spark, who kind of currently look like they're going to be the top team, given that Infernal, obviously some struggles, what fix out and whatnot, but needing to find their groove. Dynasty on the opposite side of the bracket, kind of on the up and up as of late, but as you've also pointed out, they've played against O2 Blast in the past this season so far, Avril,
twice,
and it has not gone their way.
Twice, and neither time. They are down, ironically, they are down 0-2 to 0-2. Seoul Dynasty, for whatever reason, cannot beat the O2 Blast. And that is across different versions of the O2 Blast as well, because now the most recent version of O2 Blast features 2 former members of the Seoul Dynasty. You have Prophet with a PH, Lil P in there, with Lee Soo-min as well. Both members who previously played for the Dynasty this season, now on O2 Blast, now in the Grand Finals, having already taken down Dynasty in this particular bracket as well. And honestly, trying to remember the scoreline, I don't think it was that close. No, it was 3-0. They got 3-0'd by the O2 Blast, so it was not close.
Certainly not. And you can see here, who wants to go to the playoffs with me? Because, yeah, Hangzhou, as we were teeing up, they kind of hold the fate of every single other team depending on the match results. So they are the key team in this picture here. And whether they win or lose determines a lot of different outcomes for the three other squads that want that clinched spot.
And a lot of it falls into the hands of our opening match. I mean, like I said, the Dynasty O2 Blast game and also Infernal, who don't even get to play today. O2 Blast and Infernal, their pathway into knockouts, or into playoffs rather, through knockouts, through this phase of the tournament, is dependent on how the Dallas Fuel play against the Spark. If Spark win, Dallas Fuel get knocked down, and then O2 Blast and Infernal have a pathway open. So if you are O2 Blast or you are the Soul Infernal, you need Dallas to lose. For Dallas, you just got to win. So the first match has really important stakes immediately. But honestly, this is an insane sort of day for Dallas, because yesterday we could have had a situation where today's matches wouldn't have had any stakes at all. This would have been a totally for fun day. But yesterday with the Soul Infernal losing, it opens things up for the Dallas Fuel to go straight to Toronto by just beating the Spark and see if they can do it.
Are just defaulting through that far too quickly. Too selective. Ungodly connection there with the Rampage. And Harpin, he's come up with the goods again. And Fielder goes down. It's going to be Sal Mary ready for 4-1. One goes down. Went free. The Dallas Fuel Overwatch League champions.
Champions indeed, the defending ones, in fact. We'll see if they can now get some revenge here on the side of the Hangzhou Spark. I mean, things are looking up for them at the moment. After we see that patch on the horizon, we look at this squad and we say, yup, seems pretty damn good for them. But can they get qualified to Toronto right now? They have that extra little buff once that patch rolls through to have a chance at a back-to-back championship. That is the big question. They've been looking on the up and up. Their last performance, obviously, versus Poker Face, Challenger Squad, one that struggled very much in that series, only taking a singular map. Can they, though, they looked better overall, is what I'm saying, for the side of the Fuel compared to when they played against the Hangzhou Spark. Can they show that same form versus a very strong team in the Spark today to take them down?
You know, the more I think about the Dallas Fuel, the more I'm convinced that maybe this is still the anime protagonist team, because think about it, they had to overcome a lot of difficulties over the previous seasons to get to where they are. They won a championship, like Ash finally winning a Pokemon championship after 20 damn years or something like that. But now, after winning, well, you got to think, well, what are they going to do the next season? They can't just win again, not easily anyway. You got to have some trials and tribulations, and it's exactly what's happened so far for the Dallas Fuel. They've had to really fight, and against a new rival as well. It's like you sort of you introduce a new villain. I'm not saying specifically Sparker villains, but they're the heroes to some people. But what I'm trying to say is there is a new rival for the Dallas Fuel in the Hangzhou Spark, and that rivalry has been really brewing over the course of this particular season. And for the Dallas Fuel to have slowly shifted up in strength, they've gained a lot of strength, like they have to start over again, and they're in their best form ever so far. But guess what? So the Hangzhou Spark.
Yeah, I mean, another team not quite as stark of ups and downs, I guess I should say, but, you know, a couple struggles here and there, unable to take on the charge at the beginning, and end up going over to Mid-Season Madness. I mean, going over, but, you know, playing for the Mid-Season Madness. And then coming back into the second half of the year and just kind of roaring their way up to the top of the standings. And they just look like an absolute powerhouse across their last few series. So definitely a squad that very much demands respect, and I think it's very safe to say will have it going into this series, because the Dallas Fuel, they know that they're in a rough spot. They know that they need to try to get this revenge right here and now, and you're not going to be able to get it by disrespecting your opponents or thinking less of them. So I think that there's going to be a little bit of trepidation coming into this one for the side of the Fuel, but we'll see if they're going to be able to find their comfort level where they can really start stepping to these players that have just been absolutely fantastic as of late here on the side of the Spark.
I mean, both these teams are so amazing to watch, and it's so interesting, this particular matchup, because for Dallas Fuel so far, especially in the second half of the year, here in the summer stage, they really haven't had that much difficulty. They've kind of rolled over, or at least have been more than competitive, beating everyone along the way. There's just been one team that's constantly been the hurdle that they cannot get past, and it's been the Hangzhou Spark. They just can't beat Hangzhou Spark for some reason. I mean, you look at their record head-to-head versus the Spark for the entire year. It's 0-3. They've lost every single time versus the Spark, and now we're playing a first to 4 BO7 format. We can go really far in this series. At least, you know, we're not gonna. The last time they played was a 3-0. This time, minimum we go to 4 maps. Minimum we see a push, and I think push is a great game mode for the Dallas Fuel, given that their comforts rely on those types of maps and that type of gameplay. We have the chance to go a decent amount of distance here. We're adding control and escort down to the back too, so chance to see escort twice as well.
Yep.
I want to talk a tiny little bit about Ilios as well before I hand it over to you, which is to say that, just as a funny meme, but I talked to somebody from Dallas yesterday. It's like, so do you think Hangzhou will take you guys seriously tomorrow? And he says, well, they just picked Ilios, so I guess they are taking this seriously.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to dive into. The Ilios pick coming through for the side of the Hangzhou Spark, and dive is the key word because that's what we are expecting to see from them. Dallas Fuel, a fairly known quantity. You kind of know exactly what they're going to be running for the most part, but we'll see how they change it up. Now moving over to this map that we have not seen too much of as of late. It's very much been the Lijiang Tower show, an Oasis thrown in, but widely Ilios, Hangzhou's kind of been the only team to really bring this one to the forefront. So we see it now, and we also see a couple flips around as Edison getting ready to just go ahead and TP forward for the rest of the squad. It looks like Sparkle going to be taking this guys to try to match up against Leave.
Yeah. And you have to be prepared on a map like this because Junker Queen is probably not a great matchup. You have to think about what Spark are going to play. You know that Leave is going to force the Echo here. Sparkle is keen to take that battle. But you also do know that this is a very diveable map with D.Va being the head of that, and Gushway's not going to play a D.Va, so Hanbin can play something that is signature to him.
Alright, well, high ground going to be taken here from the side of the Dallas Fuels. The point gets ready to unlock in 7 seconds. Skirting around the side so far, not so much damage going to be found for either side. As you see, Hanbin just coming to the rescue, looking to try to pressure off this angle. Receive those sticky bombs, but Hanbin doesn't have too much of a target. Sparkle now pushing down here onto the low ground, gets a little bit of damage there across onto Leave. The healing is swiftly going to come through, so he's going to be safe for now. Hanbin down the half, Edison under fire, gets chunked out, drops that health pack, gets himself back up to full. It's going to be fine for now as we enter into the neutral fight. Is the point unlocked? Hangzhou Spark going to be occupying for the time being. Edison getting dove on. There it is. The stomp comes through. Which way takes him down? Shot going to be falling low, but pulls back just a little bit, receives some healing. It's going to be top right back up. Now it's just looking to try to pressure Sparkle out of the sky. Hanbin in the meantime going to be antied out. MCD taking a big chunk of damage. Looks like Bliss is coming to heal. Gushway kind of messing up there on the leap out, but the Soul is not going to be getting punished. Kill's not going to be found yet here for the side of the Dallas Fuel. Point locked in. Already ticking up 15% here for the side of the Spark as the anti-connects onto Gushway. Now Nado's going to be exchanged. Gushway's still going to be low, but Leave putting this one to good use. Breaks Hanbin out of the mech. Sparkle, however, going to be finding Lengza, so trading out for that support. But now the build-up onto the ultimate. Leave going to be broken out of that Soldier 76 before he can try to find his attack visor. Down to a sliver of HP, 8 health up into the sky, and somehow no one killing him off. Sparkle in the meantime goes for the dupe here onto the Winston. Looking to try to build up that primal rage. The flip comes through. Dallas Fuel now going to be in control. 31% on the board. Sleep will connect here. Goes out of the duplicate. Takes right back up to the sky. Down to about half HP now. 15. Still manages to survive. Grabs that mini pack and it's going to get topped up as Gushway falls.
Lee finally getting Sparkle down here as well. Sparkle got nanoed early in the fight and just survived against everything. And speaking of which, Gushway went down to about 1 HP multiple times. Monk had to do a lot of work to keep him up. And finally, the Dallas Fuel with Gushway down. They get that cap. Edison in a bit of trouble here, though.
Okay. Not going to over pursue there. Has the recall for the bailout. We've forced off the angle. Rally now rolling here from Bliss. Langsa just built up one of his own. Monk currently outpacing MCD by about 12% or so. Towards that next nano boost. We'll see when that comes into play. But Bliss going to get dove on. The anti had connected from Monk. And he sets up for the kill. Finds that one for himself. The primal rolling, just going to knock them around. And Hanbin's going to be taken out of the mech. Forces the self-destruct. The Baby D.Va out into the open. Can he get back in? The answer is going to be no, as Gushway will be able to scoop two. Leave the only casualty so far on the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Looks like they're going to be sitting pretty here. It's Monk nearly with a nano. The rally online. And the cleanup comes in. Back in control here are the Hangzhou Spark. And they should be able to gain the lead.
I mean, it's a good amount of percentage gain by Fuel, though. They get up to 50%. It took a while for Spark to get control back, even though Spark was slowly winning that one. Primal from Gushway successful. Fire Nades connecting from Monk, and double support ultimates down online for the Spark to try and snowball this one a little bit further. They're ahead in many regards on more ultimates across the board than the Dallas Fuel on their comeback now. Just a nano to play through. Nano likely for Sparkle here.
CD. Willed away at. Pulse bomb at the ready. Shy just going to be holding it. About half Now receives some healing. Pulls back away. Sparkle up into the sky. You can see Leaf
good Nano.
forward, trying to find that kill, but now Gushway going to be diving in, as you say. Nano got slept for a brief little moment, but not before Edison did fall. Anti to try to stop him from pushing forward. Leave just look to try to break him out of this duped mech. He just pulls back. Now looks to re-aggress, moving forward, but will get taken down. Sparkle able to find that one. He goes into the pilot form. Pulse bomb still at the ready to dive forward. Lobs it in. Not going to find the connection. Not going to find the kill, but now just backs his way out. Anti up shy, managing to escape. Receives a little bit of that green HP from the rally right on the back end of it. Gushway up onto the high ground, just getting whittled away yet and cannot exit. Yep, doesn't have the primal, was shy of it by just a couple of percentage. Hanbin finds shy at the same time. Now Leaf going to be taken down. This is a big opener here for the side of the Dallas Field, who need to get this flip in their favor right now as 99% comes through.
Yeah, honestly, the Ana players have done a great job of pocketing so far. The good Nano was for MCD onto Sparkle. Sparkle was about to die to the focusing beam and leave, and then you just see him boosted up straight away and kept it alive that entire fight. Eventually finds a duplicate onto Gushway's Winston, gets his own primal, and they punish Gushway down at 94. I think he died at, so very critical. That would have been a primal, would have kept the Spark alive in that fight, would have pressured the Dallas Field out. Now some looking a lot more even. Rally coming up for Bliss should be pretty big.
Play for here from the side of the Dallas Fuel. Trying to close out this round. Double struck online. Gushway diving in, goes low, has the primal, pops it just in time to stay alive. And now the sleep's going to connect, but Leaf already finds Sparkle, takes him out of the skies, and now is close to yet another duplicate. Hanbin low, broken out of the mech. Another self-destruct going to be forced here. The Baby Diva going to be protected, and Chai actually caught up in the explosion. Must not have had a recall, or maybe he thought he was in the clear. Either way, ends up getting taken down, and that could be very costly. Leaf with the dupe ends up going for the break, trying to build up for a rally, but it just doesn't have any targets in range. Swinging away wildly, just trying to peel here for the rest of the team. Gushway receiving the nano just to try to stay in the fight. Manages to put that they could use, takes out Bliss. Dive forward here. Hanbin's desperately trying to peel, but that T-Matrix does absolutely nothing for the zap, so the kill comes in and MCD is gone. Edison now going to be taken out. Counter flip getting ready to come through. 99 to 99. Hangzhou Spark once again going to be in control as Hanbin gets broken out of the mech. Bliss swaps over onto Lucio, looking to rejoin, but now the Baby Diva is going to be killed off. Looks for the pulse bomb. Not going to be able to find it there, but Bliss still ends up getting gunned down, and 100 to 99. Hangzhou Spark take the opening round of well.
It's a critical double kill for Gushway. That would have been within extremely small margins. I'm talking less than a second here of difference. If Gushway doesn't get both Bliss and MCD, specifically MCD at the end of the fight, I think it's a completely different look for that final fight. And honestly, MCD's played out of his mind. Despite Dallas Field losing that opening round, MCD had so many clutch bio nades. He had that clutch nano boost on Sparkle as well. Generally was extremely difficult to kill with a huge amount of output. And it comes down to, again, I'm pretty sure that Gushway double kill was what secures it. If it just one supporter, MCD lives, Dallas Field still have healing, it'd be a different story there. Edison on the Soldier might have been, in my opinion, a slight liability on that map. You just don't have the same output as a Tracer. Your farm will dive within a Tracer as well. And we just didn't really see that output out of the Soldier. I just don't think it was a correct pick. But maybe for hero pool reasons, Edison not comfortable on the Tracer.
We're getting a bit more brawly here for the side of the Dallas Fuel. Sparkle back over onto the Genji, but take a look here at the Hangzhou Spark. Gushway onto the Wrecking Ball, shy on that Widowmaker that absolutely needs to be respected. Made a name for himself with this pick right here. First shot, though, going to be going wide. Edison poking around the corner. The teleporter play, trying to get up on top of the Widowmaker, and it works. An absolute treat. Sparkle able to hound him down. Dashes through, puts some damage into Langza. Looks to finish him off. Like going to be burned. Sparkle falling low, pulls back away, manages to get sustained up as Hanbin is going to be able to go ahead and confirm the kill. And the opening volley from the side of the Dallas Fuel works a treat.
Monk needs Ana. I don't know if they just didn't expect that Hanbin would roll on the jungle straight away. See the Brig coming through. Let's see what Monk does. There's the Ana. You really need the Ana to stop the pressure of the TP. Bionet on top of the TP straight away. You also have the sleep darts and the Bionet for Hanbin as well. These things are very important. Gushway, by the way, still pocketing the Doomfist. He hasn't shown it just yet. He beat the Dallas Fuel with it last week. He wants to make sure that he can bring out for a later map. So for now, still the Winston.
Hear that dink coming across. Hanbin, though, antied out, taken down. Lang's able to get on top of him. The deflection not going to do much there against Gushway. He's able to just go ahead and zap Sparkle down. The kills continue to be found. Whip shot out. Bliss ends up falling. And the Brawl comp very much broken down after the swap here from the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Only 32% established for the Fuel.
MCD must have thrown Suzu earlier because that Suzu should have come out to save Hanbin. Bionet connects from Monk, and you see instant value. Also, the speed in which the Spark can take down Bioneted targets, including a tank, insane. Hanbin just melted. Purple health down to 0 instantly, and this team comp for Field doesn't operate if your Queen is down. Spark taking huge advantage. By the way, Monk nearly onto a Nano. It's just a fresh Ana, by the way, for most intents purposes.
Good opening kill, though. MCD able to find that headshot there on a Shy, and now Leave taken out. Edison just rejoins with a Bastion. The nade comes across. He and Sparkle finding 2 apiece, and there's the counter flip before the lead is even gained for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. So Fuel now a good opportunity to run away with this.
And they do that completely neutral zone. No ultimates available even for the Dallas Fuel. They're getting close. To be fair, no ultimates for the Spark either in that previous fight. Talked about how Monk was getting close to Nano, but didn't quite have it available yet. That would have been a bit of a game changer had it been there. Is now plentiful options. Nano Visor on the table.
Back cap pressure.
Dallas Fuel now just pull Junk Queen back.
Pulls the Junk Queen back. Sparkle now going to be in a bad spot as the anti goes across, and MCD is only able to clear one with a Suzu. Either way, they still survive as the Kitsune Rush comes across. Edison finding yet another kill with an nade. Sparkle pulls the blade. Finds one, so going to hound down the Soldier 76, and Shy will get taken out before he can grab the health pack. Exiting jump there from Gushwei. Sparkle trying to find an angle. He just won't be able to get that punish, and now Gushwei is going to be swapping over onto Doom.
Yep. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Gushwei wanted to make the Winston work. He played out a couple of lives there to get the Primal Rage, but 80% now for the Dallas Fuel. It's time to get serious. Couple members knocked off. That's a good start.
Yep. Big slam as well, so Gushwei getting that green HP. Goes for the jump back up onto the top, trying to apply that pressure even further. Now, you see the beat coming through.
This could be it.
Hanbin hounds down Shy. The cleanup continues. The Sparkle and Edison get one to pop. And leave down to about half. Grabs a health pack off screen. Now just dashing back to try to exit, but Overtime is bleeding away, and somebody's going to have to get the touch, but I don't think that they can. It's 130% in reply. We go to the distance all the way to Lighthouse.
Yeah. There was just no nano from Monk at all, under pressure the entire way through. 2 lives where he had the nano, didn't get to use it. 2 full lives there. And Gushwei bringing out the Doom only in the, what is essentially the final fight as well. I mean, I think maybe Spark were just trying to see if they can make the Winston work. They looked at New Junk City yesterday, saw Muse make the Winston work. It's like, is it possible? Do I have to bring out the Doom immediately? I think the answer, largely for me, is going to end up being a yeah. I think you got to bring out the Doom now. If you see the Jungle Queen, likely the Doom is going to have to be the immediate answer. Spark, they're not going to mess around this time around. He's just going to start on the Doom. However, Fuel for Lighthouse are going to go towards the Diva comp. Okay, Gushwei might end up being back on the Winston here after a single life. We'll see how that goes.
Yep, Doom out the rip. Off the rip, I should say. Words are difficult today. Either way, Sparkle versus Leaf once again in the skies. Edison back over onto the Soldier 76. That was a little bit of a hindrance for them back on well. Certainly better sight lines, though, on this part of the map. Still not getting too much damage across there onto Leaf. Flipping down on the low ground, taking a little bit of self-inflicted damage there from the Helix rockets, but still is going to be safe for the time being. Shy down to half HP as Steve Gushwei just pulling back away from the point for the moment.
They're waiting for opportunities here. You need to see Monk connected. But he has Hanbin in trouble.
Oh, and he's going to be broken out. Yep. Ends up getting taken down. Follow up there from Lee with the sticky bombs, able to find it. Now he's going to try to pistol his way back through, but that's just crucial timing found here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark to get that elimination. But Sparkle doing some wonders here. Lee and Lang's both going to be taken out. Finds those kills, looks for a little bit more. Gushwei receiving all of those sticky bombs. Point blank ends up falling. Shy able to answer one back. Pulse bomb nearly online. He gets it. If he can find a stick, it would be good enough to try to find the target and maybe turn this one around. But I think he actually gets sent off the side of the map there by Bliss. Maybe it was just his corpse going flying. Either way, Fuel in control.
This is a huge performance from Sparkle so far. This Echo has done wonders for the Dallas Fuel. He outdeals Lee first and foremost, and then just kills another 2 to 3 more members after that. And that is how you prevent a situation from going poorly. Hanbin's down, but Sparkle still up and alive and still in a position to carry the team.
Really good stuff there from Sparkle. I mean, it's talking about the 76, but Sparkle having that kind of impact is also something that was missing on the first round here of Ilios. But now double anti across MCD, the first to fall. Edison able to answer one back. Going to be a support for a support. Bliss still down a little bit low, though. Whittle away at, has to keep himself alive and can't save Edison's life, so he ends up falling. Shield bash into the, I believe, the sleep dart onto the floor. Shy, it's an easy cleanup for him. 38, 40% here for the side of the Fuel as the flip gets ready to come through. Cap is in. Sparkle dead on the back end for a little bit of added stagger, and Leaf somehow actually manages to return and beats him to the dupe.
I mean, both players, legendary Echoes. Lee has certainly had a little bit more time to play it so far this season than Sparkle has, given Fuel's propensity to run rush compositions, but there it is. Lee took Sparkle down, and this will take him down at the start of this fight.
Attack visor nearly online. Gushwei trying to hold this high ground. Still going to be 30% off from that Primal Rage, and that's why he's got to exit for the beam, and as well as Hanbin managed to hound him down. Sparkle just nanoed up, putting it to good use. Now looking for a little bit more, but Shy and Leaf coming out of nowhere just absolutely shut him down. Anti disconnect on the 2, leaving Lang's up. Oh, have to play a little bit more hesitantly there. Shy now just going to be looking to go ahead and get this flip back into their favor. The lead just now gained here for the side of the Fuel. Attack buys are going to be popped. Edison looking for a target, but gets left on there by Gushway, pressures him out as the dupe comes through from Leap, going over for the D.Va, trying to build up that self-destruct and be able to clear out the point. Gushway going lower, big anti connects onto 3, but Hanbin maybe dead off the side of the map. Not quite sure exactly what happened in that moment, but now they have to try to pull back because Bliss is low on HP. Sparkle and Edison are both dead. Cleanup comes in, Hangzhou Spark gain control, and now they're going to gain the lead.
Yeah, this is another situation where Edison's soldier's being caught out. Gushway can just jump on top of Edison every single time. Even with the visor, you're not going to beat Gushway in that duel unless you get some sort of support. So far, it's been a lot of Sparkle. He is the emphasis of this map and the team for the Dallas Fuel. You got to keep Sparkle alive. Han being thrown off that map was definitely huge as well, especially given that Lee put an extra tank on the field with his duplicated D.Va. We head over towards final fight now. Nano available. Doesn't have to be forced on Gushway just yet, which is good timing for the Spark. Oh my, that's carried down.
I was going to say, MCD nearly has his Nano up, but that's the key target right there. Would have gone over the Sparkle. Now he gets taken out. Nano in a sleep onto Gushway. Leaf going to be down low. Ends up falling. Bliss finding the elimination. Self-destruct here from Han, but also going to get him. Pulse Bomb goes out from Shy, but it's not going to find a target. But he still manages to double up, or follow up, and finds Edison. 100%. Somebody needs to get the touch, and Bliss just can't get there. Lengza just doing his best to try to body block them, and it works a treat. Hangzhou Spark managed to take the round away.
Yeah, a shield bash as well from Lengza. That was an insane play from Lengza, honestly, because Spark were losing that fight. I'm fairly confident that the Dallas Fuel were about to make a comeback happen. They want to push their own 99. It was going to get super interesting. But as we reach the OT, Hangzhou Spark, like defensive linesmen or something, they just completely block out the Fuel from reaching the objective. And the Hangzhou Spark will take away Ilios. But man, that was really close for what is a map choice from the Hangzhou Spark. In a heavily favored matchup for them. We're playing dive versus dive essentially the entire way through outside of Ruins, which was Harbin going the Jungle Queen, and maybe an early teaser for what the rest of the series is going to look like. Dallas Fuel looked good when they won the Jungle Queen. Hangzhou Spark did win when they won the dive, but I want to say only by a margin.
Yeah, it was very close the entire way throughout, so that's a good sign so far for the side of the Fuel, who now have their map pick getting ready to come up for Hybrid. So we'll see where they elect to take us, and whether or not they're going to be able to tie the scoring line after it when we come back in the break. And we are back, and it's time to go into map number 2. The Hangzhou Spark able to pick up map number 1. They had their selection of Ilios coming in as a higher seeded team, and they put it to good use, though. It was a little bit closer than we might have anticipated. One round, obviously going the way of the Dallas Fuel, given that they got to play their brawl. But then the dive ended up getting them in the end with a very nice forced C9 at Langs' hand.
Gonna leave a jersey in the middle there, number 10 for the Spark. Leave, who had a bit of work to do in that matchup, as Sparkle was looking really damn good on the Echo, but I think this is probably going to be the end of Dallas Fuel really playing too much dive for the rest of the series. Maybe if we get to that second control, map number 6. That's right, because we could go to 7, if not more, in this particular series today, and I think these two teams are close enough in skill level that that might actually end up being the case. I'll start talking about the next map a little bit. I'll spoil it. It's not Midtown, and, well, no Pineapple being subbed in. If it was Midtown, Kushra goes to Rissa. Monk and Pineapple play their double flex support situation again. Maybe we see some more Captive Sun highlights, but we're actually going to go to Numbani instead. It's an interesting map choice by the Dallas Fuel, because previously, this would have been a maybe risky choice for Dallas. You can't really play the Queen as well on this map, but we've seen Harbin Flexo, which was a Sigma, just for this particular map in Numbani, and it works a treat. So if you want to keep playing the sort of Bastion sim kind of look for the Dallas Fuel, you just swap the Queen over towards a Sigma. You can even force a Queen in some cases, but reliably, I think Sigma is probably going to be Harbin's choice.
Alrighty, well, time will tell as we get ready to load up here on the Numbani. Dallas Fuel, as we were talking about it, I mean, the last time they played against the Spark, not really a close series by any margin, but already a lot closer in that first map. So we'll see now with their map pick if they're going to be able to get one on the board. You and I kind of suspecting that this is going to be a bit of a longer series, especially given that we are in this best of 7 format. So let's see if this one can in fact go the distance. Maybe just some trades back and forth between these two squads all the way to that final map.
We got the potential for 2 escorts in there as well, and in the escort pool could be rough. I mean, it's interesting. There definitely saw a lot of capabilities for the Dallas Fuel to play what they want to play, but I think once you get into more high ground, low ground type of maps, Sparks dive type gameplay starts to look a lot better. So the important map types that you need to see the Dallas Fuel come on top on, I think you're looking at push primarily, number 4. That is going to be a huge swing map in favor of the Dallas Fuel. They have to win that, in my opinion. Beyond that, Barney is not a bad shout. I think the flashpoint in the middle. Largely, I think Fuel can get a lot of momentum here. Right now, between maps 2, 3, and 4 is a good time for Fuel to start picking up steam.
All right, well, here on Numbani and Gushway now going to be going for that Orisa on the defense. Shy on the Soldier 76. Leave, once again, just going to be hovering in the sky, sticking with this Echo.
Okay. So I want to play this quickly. Sigma would have been the slower gameplay. You push up, set up the shield, get Edison in place on the high ground, and start beaming down with your turret. Whereas this, they might not even go top lane. They could just force main, TP for the high ground. Leaf's going to do some advanced scouting. Okay, they are going to go top. Not prepared. Kusho's already in position. You have to be careful for the TP bait and switch, because the TP you can still play on the top and then go immediately right. They're going to go below and TP to the back.
TP into the back.
Bliss.
Teleporting going to be broken down. Yeah, Bliss so very low. Both supports getting clipped by that anti-nade. Been just trying to play the corner. Now that's going to be wrapping around the side. Leave ready and waiting. Sends in the sticky bombs. Going to be getting a decent amount of splash damage through.
TP again.
They're going low. Now TP across. There's the anti greeting them as they come out of it. 4 players going to get clipped by that one. Immortality Field going to be forced out. Hanbin now going to be taking a nap on the staircase, but Shy doesn't want to play up against him, so ends up rotating out. So far, Dallas Fuel is kind of playing ring around the rosy, rotating around this point, giving Leave an enormous amount of ult charge and not really touching the point itself. They now drop down. Doucheway looking to pressure him out. He's a little bit of HP here, just trying to pop him back up. Now the nano available, but no, Han been able to hound him down, find the elimination. Shy as well going to be tagged up. Now into the corner, the second tick going to be grabbed here for the side of the Dallas Fuel, playing this out patiently, and it's working for them. Ends up paying off, and nobody else can really occupy the point. After Kushway falls, that's it. Langsa does manage to pistol down Hanbin, but now they have the forward spawn. Rampage going to be coming through. Can see anti-cross on a 3. MCD quickly going to bleed out as Edison tucks away, trying to just grab that mini pack. Looks like he will be able to do so, as MCD and Bliss will both fall. Stagger's going to be found here on the back end, but now Hangzhou Spark have to rotate out.
And the problem is, Fuel already capped, so... I mean, they got a spawn camp, but the Fuel already capped, so all of this is nice. Is it going to be enough? Unfortunately, they couldn't keep Gushui alive. You saw Monk, by the way, find his nano at the end, but Gushui's out of LOS. Gushui had to run backwards. He got assaulted upon by the Dallas Fuel, who just rushed him down in the side room of the Mega Pack. And this is going to end up being the adaptation. Edison goes Sombra just for Gushui.
On the high ground again here. Shy now popping that attack visor, looking for target. Managed to find Bliss. Spark will be taken down by Gushui as well. That's the sound barrier committed into the fight with the side of the Dallas Fuel, and they fall short as well as that photon barrier. Cart, it's going to be
Look at the respect.
Inched forward here by Edison, but he's got to make his exit.
They don't want to chase Harmon, because if they know if they go in that room, they can get mega cleaved, and Harmon's about to get 3 resets in there, like the highlight clip we saw when they played against Pokerface. So they're just not going to force it. They're going to allow Fuel to regroup in the stairway. Cleave is still keeping, I think, 1 player stuck in spawn. Not so sure that is Edison, who's been repeatedly revealed. Rampage nearly up.
Gear Strike also online here in case Gushui needs to go and bail himself out. Mortality field going to be cleared down. Next duplicate
down.
It's 14% away. Gushui does end up falling, with Sparkle now going to be taken out. Langza under a little bit of fire here. Will get top back up, and Shy finds MCD. Continuing to struggle, but the cart now moving forward, just getting a little bit of steady distance here. And Spark look to go ahead and snatch this one up for themselves once again. With Hanbin falling, they will be able to do so if this spawn camp continues.
Edison's done a lot of work, though. The Sombra is the one that's going to push the Spark back. Spark cannot ideally they can't just spawn camp the entire way through, because at any point Edison could just slowly inch the payload forward. Spark, if they want to spawn camp effectively, they can't just keep someone on the payload either. So the effectiveness of the spawn camp is weakening.
The dive, looking for Monk. Inching to survive for the time being, but then Hanbin eventually able to hound him down. Gushui takes a Meteor Strike out to safety. Going to be dropping down all the way into the back lines. Only casualty so far just going to be Monk. Trying taking a little bit of damage, but now onto the cart here go the Dallas Fuel. Good amount of time bought though, with the side of the Hangzhou Spark, draining that clock down steadily. Can they reestablish some control? Duke comes in, Leave going to be going for the Diva. Rushes forward, rockets ablaze. Looking to try to build up towards that self-destruct and reestablish some space here, but he will be broken out of this one. Into the pilot form, pistoling away. Can get back from the back very quickly here, but he's going to be running out of time. Maybe a squash kill, but no, they pull back away from that one. Now they break him out of the dupe, and he's got to make his exit. Shy, in the meantime, going to be eliminated. Sparkle able to find that kill. Langza, however, gets the res through. Back on a Gushui, pulling back, takes the punch out to safety as the nano comes across. Leave the recipient. Hanbin up on the high ground, knows that the struck going to be broken out of the mech, taken down swiftly. Pulse bomb going to be committed, but Sparkle finds nothing, and Leave is able to double up, finds another kill. Support's now trying to exit, but they manage to chase in, and Bliss will fall.
Huge res, by the way. Link's getting that res onto Shy, allows the Hangzhou Spark to stay in. You have Leave delaying the fuel as well by copping over towards the Diva. He stays alive for ages. Yeah, loses the mech, but even the pilot form is just annoying. And every single time Fuel get a pick, Gushui ends up coming back, and Monk comes back, and Shy gets rezzed, and Dallas can just only hope to slowly inch the payload forward, but not quite enough. We're not past the green bus yet, not past the second corner. Some decent ultimates, but the real one we're waiting for is Edison on the EMP again. That has to be the impetus for the Fuel. Suzu's been burned so early.
Yeah, very early there. I don't think there's Bionate on the Sparkle. I guess just one target. He's still playing elusively here. Seismic Slam will find him. So Gushui trying to stay alive. That pocket healing coming through from the Mercy. Meanwhile, Backvisor up onto the high ground. Pivot. Keep Shy alive. Breaking line of sight, but now down to a minute remaining. Sound barrier going to be coming through off the back of the Kitsune rush. EMP puts Leave down onto the floor. Healing coming in, but it's not going to be enough to try to keep him alive. Langza getting tagged up, chased down, hacked, eliminated, so the res cannot come through. Man advantage now here for the side of the Fuels. The self-destruct not going to be able to find any value, but Gushui gets hacked and killed moments before he would have had the Meteor Strike online. Now, it's a meter away from pushing through, and with the final kills coming in, they will be able to get that minute and a half bump up.
So much of that was Edison. I mean, the EMP onto Leave, and unfortunately no dupe available. You need to see Leave find that dupe to be able to save himself. They just caught out, and the follow-up kill then onto Langza as well. So it's just 2 players down, basically for nothing. And a further hack of the Gushui as we head over towards the final point here. Gushui goes back over towards Winston. Hanbin says, bet, let's go Jungle Queen here. This is a good matchup for me. On Dallas Field, they get to sort of play the comp they originally wanted to play. Now, they get past, I think, the more difficult parts of the map for them, and C should favor this comp now as they push through.
A lot less high ground to be worried about there, especially when it comes down to Shy. Number onto the Bastion, just looking for that regular impact that we've come to expect from him. Dupe, however, going to be coming through, Leave into the back line. Goes into the tank form, but he immediately gets leapt on, taken out of that one and taken down. Han been able to confirm the kill. A big overstep from Leave, thinking that he was going to have a nice timing, but the full force of the Dallas Fuel just turns around and takes him out.
Gushui has to be careful. might end up forcing the Nano here if he gets into trouble, but he's actually delaying payload at the moment.
Nano on
Now the Nano comes
really
through.
trying to keep him alive. Sensor Slam is going to be decent. That gives him the Meteor Strike. Window going to be dropped in. He drops down in front of it. Trying to stay in this fight. Fist raised, keeping himself protected with the healing through. But is it going to be enough? Oh, the punch. The kill Edison off. That ensures his survivability. His survival, I should say. That's
Pixel perfect.
Team fight 1 now. 50 seconds remaining.
I mean, he threads the needle between life and death so cleanly there. Very low HP for Gusha, but never goes down. Props to the healers for keeping him up as well. And just manages to thread a punch in even onto Edison. Spark will now go over towards the Sombra. Things have slowed down significantly with Theo. Gusha outplaying the window of MCD amazingly. This is exactly what you want to see out of the Doom. You see the Ant Matrix drop, threaten that Ant Matrix with the Meteor Strike, and suddenly things are really difficult for the field.
His exit right as the hack comes in.
Time.
Gets himself out. 19 seconds remaining. Touch.
And no TP, by the way, so...
From the drop down here. Sparkle.
It is Sparkle touching, I think. He has to. No one else can... Okay, the payload's actually really close, so they can get the touch, no issues.
Looking for the setup here. Okay, artillery to try to open this one up. Sparkle for the touch. I know Hanbin's there. Sparkle stays in stealth.
He's just holding the artillery, so it buys some time.
Sends it out, leaves, tagged up, stays alive, tucks back around the corner. Attack visor online. The Nano nearly there to couple in with it, but it might go over to Gushway all this either way. Try to keep him alive instead. Down barrier now coming through. Rampage across, only finding Gushway. Nano still not quite there though. Monk building it up, trying to get it online. Now has it at the ready. Rally expired. Hack on the leave. Taken low. Fire around the corner. Spots him. The opposite side of the card to clear up there onto the Immortality field. The blade can come through. Now he pulls it. Edison dead. Hanbin disappears. They clear him off the cart. It's going to be the final resting place. Just on the final corner here of the map. They cannot get to see Hangzhou Spark give themselves a win condition as the Fuel get ready to go on the defense.
That was really big from the Hangzhou Spark. I think things start to get a little bit more difficult for Dallas Fuel, where you have to now consider swaps between Sombra and everything else. What do you sacrifice? Do you want to sacrifice the Bastion for the Sombra? Do you want to sacrifice Sim for the Sombra? Either way, you're sacrificing something, and that's not ideal. This is the play that I want to highlight as well. Completely counter out the Ant Matrix, and then Threads need to find this punch onto Edison as well to enable that kill. But one of the main strengths of the Dallas Fuel comp, as we discussed yesterday, is their ability to just spam infinite damage through the window via the Bastion in the turret form. And if Spark can work their way around that and prevent that value from coming on through, that's a lot of the damage output from the Dallas Fuel prevented. So, something that I think the Doom does exceptionally well. You can punch people away from the window, you can Meteor Strike on top of it, you can disrupt people's angles successfully, or you just power block, and that absorbs a ton of damage. So, it's partially why Doom is, I think, really good into specifically the Bastion here, but where the strength of this Jungle Queen Bastion comp lies. And towards the end, Leave swapping up to Genji, I think, was really good as well. You start to really move away from Flyers on Sea of Numbani. Flyers are just, the value drops significantly. And the Genji is also just a great matchup into the Bastion. And a lot of the pressure from the Spark is specifically onto Edison. You can see, even in the trading of the poke damage, Shy on a Soldier, specifically trying to poke out Edison as his primary target.
All right, well, still just going to be sticking with this pocketed Echo. Shy goes out here on this Hanzo. He's going to be sticking through with this one. He could break down a Bastion decently quickly with the Storm Arrows, but see if he gets the opportunity. Teleporter set up as they make their way over here to the high ground, but the teleport's been dealt with, and Leave gets the sticky bombs onto Sparkle. Takes him down, and this could be catastrophic here for the Dallas Fuel. Edison now gone. That's the damage output completely eliminated. MCD taken down by Gushway with a punch. Anti onto Hanbin. He'll get a parting gift kill onto Monk, but that's about it. Bliss just trying to make his exit as swiftly and safely as he possibly can. He'll get out of dodge, but that should be the point cap coming in a 5.5 minute time bank here for the side of the Spark.
Yeah, his Hanbin's too far away. You know it's gone already. That is so big. You got to look at that nade again. Monk lands a 4-man bio, and Sparkle melts instantaneously from that bio. It's an immediately 5v4. Dallas Fuel then get a little bit shell-shocked. As you say, the TP is gone straight away, but their team actually rotates in different directions. You have MCD, and I think one of the play going downstairs, Kushrei sees it, instantly gets a punch kill to MCD. I mean, it's gone. It's done. After that happened, that one kill they got to Monk, rezzed.
Okay, and there's the jump forward from Gushway. Gets hacked, puts the fists up, negates the damage. Immortality kill going to be burned early here. Now Sparkle found, and Gushway takes him out. Massive size to clam forward, gets some damage across, sets up for shot to get the elimination onto Edison. Hanbin now going to be antied out. Deep dive here on the punch, but now the slam back to close the distance. It's just right up in front of MCD. Waits for him to hit the fort. Knocks him into the wall. Hanbin taken out, just desperately trying to get this Rampage online, but it's 5 ults here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark, and they didn't have to commit anything to win the fight.
Yeah, and usually when I see the situation, I'm like, man, attacking team on 5 ults, they must be doing something wrong. But this stage, it's because they're winning so hard, they don't need ultimates to be played at all. Now MCD has to swap as well because, well, you got to be able to support Hanbin when Monk throws these Bionades. The Suzu needs to be there. But Dallas Fuel's composition has disappeared. I mean, what even is this now? There's no Bastion.
Oh, he gets out with a sliver! Gushwei so low, manages to escape with a Meteor Strike into the back lines. Now can be healed back up. The supports, they don't even need the ult charge. They're still just holding on to him. Langza does manage to go ahead and pop the Guardian Angel. Now the Nano comes across. Gushwei immediately diving forward. Finds Edison. Down barrier too late from Bliss to try to keep him alive. TP away from MCD. Keeps himself elusive. Keeps himself alive. Monk falling to Hanbin's hand. But now the dupe comes in from Leave. And there's another Jungle Queen in the mix now on the opposite side. Sparkle making his exit, jumping up for the EMP can come through and axe through onto Bliss just to try to really chunk him down.
Raise the knife.
We'll be able to find 2. There's a knife on the Langza. Gets the follow-up. Leave now losing out on the dupe. Hanbin, however, in too deep. Ends up falling. Monk scooping the kill. And 3 meters left to go here on this push. Cart going to be contested for the time being. Gushwei just trying to make his way back through, but has to wait out the hack.
Yeah, the reset is there, though. Fuel did their job. They actually denied the Spark, and Spark had to wait.
Hanbin's not here.
He needs to get back quickly. Hanbin has to get here immediately.
Okay, EMP managed to get the catch on the 3, but the kill's not going to be found on either side. Everybody's staying alive for the time being. Sparkle down a half. Edison as well. Working his way back into the hallway, just trying to stay in this one. Try to re-aggress. Rampage goes through, managing to connect onto 3, but Gushwei goes into the Meteor Strike to go ahead and just get that invulnerability. Shy is going to bleed out, but the rest of the team is falling to the wayside here for the side of the Dallas Fuel. Here, Kitsune Rush committed just to try to really turn this one and keep themselves in this fight, but eventually they're going to get pushed off the cart. Now 0.89 meters left to go as Hanbin will fall to the sticky bombs. The Suzu going to be burned, trying to buy some extra time, but it's inevitable here. The cap is going to be coming through.
And the time is great. 4:21 as well. Bliss late death, possibly. Surely they kill him. No, they don't. You'll be happy to have at least 1 extra member survive that. This is the power of the Doom Comp. Fuel, they're running out of options. Hanbin's like, well, let me check my hero pool real quick. What else can I play against Zarya? Wrong patch, buddy. We'll see if it works. So, I mean, at this point, you got to do something. It's 1 more good push until Spark take this map.
Sparkle sticking through on this Sombra. It means that we just get the extended stay of Edison on this Symmetra, not something that we are used to seeing at all. Gushwei now off the Doom onto the Winston, rushing forward, just playing with his limitations, and Edison is gone again. Rally now rolling, Nano built up, Leaf goes to the dupe onto the Zarya, says, yeah, I'll just use this one against you completely and utterly. It's not even necessary to try to build up the grab. That is just going to be it. The full push coming in with still so much time to work with. Dallas Fuel's map pick does not work in their favor. Hangzhou Spark grind them into a fine paste.
I gotta be honest here, I don't think that was close. I mean, scoreline-wise, we went to see, but the manner in which it was done was not close. Hangzhou Spark, instantaneous, 1 and done. Leave is laughing. Gushwei is having a great time. They're slamming at the moment. And I want to shout out Leave as well for the final play. I don't know if anyone caught this, but a small micro detail there. Bliss sound barrier onto 3-man, but it didn't catch Hanbin because Leave body blocked. I think he bubbled it out. And we saw Smurf do that last year on Lee Jung when he was on Seoul Dynasty. He bubble blocked somebody from getting sound barrier. Leave just did that with the duplicated Zarya and prevented Hanbin from receiving sound barrier. So that's one of the ways you just shut down Zarya. But just the fact that Hanbin goes Zarya right now this early is a sign of weakness from the Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, I mean, Gushwei's just donk walking on everybody at the moment here, so something's got to give for the side of the Dallas Fuel if they want to get themselves back into this series. They have map pick again, but it's limited options as we get ready to go into Flashpoint. We'll see where they like to take us and whether or not they try to get one on the board. Otherwise, it's going to be reverse sweep territory for them to try to get into the playoffs. We're going to go to a break. We'll be right back. And we are back, and it's time to go into map number 3. Things not looking great at the moment here for the side of the Dallas Fuel, who once again will have their map pick. Didn't work out for them. They elected to take us to Numbani. They couldn't make it to the end of the map, and then they kind of got destroyed on the opposite side. So let's see where they want to take us for Flashpoint and whether or not it is going to be good enough to be able to get a win on board. Because if they can't find it here, as we get ready to go into push, that will be them looking to reverse sweep if they want to get placed forward into the playoffs immediately. Get that ticket punched to Toronto. Otherwise, they're going to be play-ins bound, and they do not want that.
Currently, it's looking very similar to what we had last week. You know, it's somewhat competitive, 2-1 on the opening control. You have at least a point or two taken by the Fuel on map number 2. Map number 3 last time, that was Survivor. That went 3-2, and it was actually quite competitive. And I think there's a little bit of hope there for the Fuel. I think, again, these middle 3 maps, or not quite middle, but you know what I mean, 2, 3, and 4 should be a strong point for the Fuel in this particular series as far as the map choices go. And, you know, if they can get this Flashpoint and into a push win, suddenly we're 2-2, the series opens up. From then onwards, where we get, you know, a lot of escorts and controls and escorts, I make no guarantees for the Fuel, but currently, I think the game is still pretty open. But I think if they lose the Flashpoint as well, you're down significantly, that's match point, by the way, and then you have to win the push, I still think they're favored to win the push. It's a 1-3, and the chance of coming back when the last 3 map types are control, escort, control, or no, sorry, it's escort, control, escort, either way, it can start to get pretty rough, possibly.
All right, well, it's going to be New Junk City coming up here for the side of the Dallas Fuel. Let's see if this can be the turning point for them, or if it's just going to get further and further away. Looking for that rally back, so time will tell as we get ready to go into the action. See if, you know, what they're going to be running. I mean, we could take a very easy guess at what they're going to be running, but whether or not it is going to work out, I suppose, is the big question.
They're gonna play this one lore accurate. So Junker Queen's going to show up on New Junk City. What I'm saying. A drunk rat, though. As I can imagine, if you are the Spark, the Doom will be instantly out for display with no hesitation.
Hey, we had an unironic and legitimate Junkrat yesterday and didn't get to do too much, but we did see Prophet bring it through for a brief little moment. And Sparkle's very well suited for it, so I wouldn't be that opposed to it. It wouldn't be good for their odds of closing the map, I suppose, but it's always fun to see.
Genji.
Yeah,
a far stronger hero in this meta.
Maybe that's
and
maybe
also
that's
Sparkle is one of the most legendary Genji players we've had in the history of Overwatch, so that's a good shout. Edison now gets to play his extremely favored Sojin, which he used to win the grand finals last year. So,
well, you can correct me if I'm wrong,
but
I think, wasn't this maybe the first map that Gooshway showed us the Doomfist dive on, and he against the Fuel, and he crushed? I could be wrong if it was the first time, but I believe it was on New Junk City when he brought it out. So
he definitely played Orisa more in the last series. He hasn't played much of he played a little bit of Orisa in Numbani. I'll have to go back and check, but in either case, look, the Doom has been fragging today, that's for sure.
Gooshway under fire.
Might be dead here.
Yeah, Nade not going to be enough to bail him out. The healing throughput is not strong enough. Edison able to scoop that kill nice and early over here onto the Sojourn, and clean up duty now for the side of Sparkle, who wants to try to take out Shy, but knows his limits, doesn't want to overstep, allows for Bliss to get into the action. And that is going to be the first cap coming the way of the Dallas Fuel. Ooh, yeah, wow,
Spark is just going to go for full switch. Does Shy go like a Tracer here as well? Like, what do they want to do?
Looks like the Soldier is still going to be sticking.
I actually like the Fuel. They're not doing a big adjustment, but they're just doing a slight tweak to the comp. They're saying, okay, well, the Sim Bash and stuff, we're going to shelve that for now because we're getting punched around the map and Edison's not having a great time getting punched or just shooting into a power block. So let's go towards the other Junker Wing comp. The faster one with the Queen and the Sojourn. Sorry, with the Genji and the Sojourn, which we're also really good at. The Spark get kind of stomped in that first fight. See how Gooshway does in the Winston. Again, this is not a good comp for Winston to play into.
The rush forward there from Hanbin lets out the roar, pushes out with the axe, and Monk gets taken down. Edison with a headshot, able to find him. Now Leng's going to fall as well, and that's going to be a supportless Spark that just kind of fall to the wayside as the cleanup continues. I believe taken down, does very quickly build up to match Sparkle here with this Genji. I mean, he's actually kind of technically in the lead, which is amazing. Good
as
amount
long
of
as
work
MCD
done,
can save his Suzu specifically to counter Monk, Dallas should be fine. Cannot have your Suzu force early or Monk's going to completely roll you with the Baronade.
Okay, well,
As it's
Gushwei
got to be
leaping
Gushwei
forward.
backcapping. He's got to be a little bit careful here.
Yeah,
He does
leaps off
pull
the
some
point.
fuel members back.
Rampage across finds Gushwei. He's already so low. It's actually the disrupting shot of all things that takes him down. We've now under fire. Deflection going to be burned. Lengths over the whip shot will only be able to find Sparkle. The rest of the team, however, just going to be falling apart. Spliss does get antied, but no cleanup to be found. The first point goes away with the fuel.
Sparks just accept their fake there. It's 0 to 100. They save all their ultimates. No, it's a lost fight. Allow fuel to commit to in there and just try and out-ult the fuel in the next fight. See if they can get that done. That was pretty comprehensive coming through from the fuel. Like I said, just a small adjustment there, but it does change things up quite significantly. Their win conditions change as well, which means Spark have to think differently about how they want to play this game. Should be a nano engage on the Gushwei. Actually, nano blade and nano visor are both good options too.
Okay. Nano visor across. Han been taken down. Shy finding the first one. Sparkle just trying to backtrack as best as he possibly can, but eventually will end up dying. And the beat is just not going to be enough to save the fuel. Cleanup continuing here. Monk the only casualty. A slow run back here for the Ana, but first point snatched up here for the Spark.
What you do have there is a sound barrier that does not save Hanbin. He was in a lot of trouble. Less beats, but Hanbin just gets melted. It's a 4-man beat. Sparkle tries to counter blade. The nano visor is just shredding through the Dallas fuel, and Sparkle is essentially deflecting his entire blade because, well, you can't afford to not be deflecting when Shy is just looking at you with a visor. So now things get a little bit more difficult for the field, but we expected this. I mean, I think Spark come through with a lot more ultimates. They were always going to have a pretty decent fight there. Losing Hanbin early is obviously not ideal.
Yeah. The clock popped here for Medicine. Looking for some targets. First couple shots going to be going wide. Everybody just breaking line of sight. They're at the point for a brief little moment. Feel close on the cap as Gushwei goes diving into the back line. Sets up the kill. Medicine will fall. Blade now pulled here from Leave. Jumping forward. One more swipe. There's the kill. It's the double up. Finds both supports. Team kill comes across. Nobody lost on the side of the Spark. And now looking like they're going to be able to tie the score line.
And they're pushing up. They know they want to try and catch Fuel out of spawn here. Fuel are not going to have any flankers. Edison's gone over towards the Torb. Trying to just survive against a dive. That is going to affect Edison's kill pressure, though. They can live against dives, but Edison better be hitting some nutty left clicks on the river gun, because otherwise it's not looking good. Bliss. Oh, he's okay. He's alive.
Okay. Tag in. Does come through. Dive into MCD into the back line. TP, but the zap from Gushwei just lines him up, shuts him down. Edison with his Torb, not going to be providing nearly enough peel there for the supports. I'm just looking to clear out the point, which looks like they will be able to do here. Shine just rotating away, doesn't want to die, wants to be able to stay alive with a full 5 to get the pass rotate over the next point. Hangzhou Spark will tie us up 1-1.
Very clean fight. No ultimates expended. Spark knew they were ahead. And if Dallas Fuel can set up early on the next point, then they're not going to get the early step because sadly they have to wait for a place. I was going to say a good position for Edison with a Torb would be if you already have point control. Then the Torb, I think the value increases quite a lot. If you have to attack into the Spark and you're rushing into the Torb, it's a lot worse. Worse still when Spark still hold on to 3 ultimates.
Alright, well, unlocked now in 3. Gushwei diving into the back. CD popping that Kitsune rush, but the anti from Monk goes on to 2. Edison and Sparkle now needing to play a little bit more cautiously as Gushwei just continuing to harass with that primal popped. Doesn't find too much value though, but now they look to occupy the point and get this cap into their favor once again. They have to pull away. Gushwei takes a good amount of damage. Frank's going to be using that to go ahead and try to catch up and get this rally online, however.
Rampage
on to Winston.
Rampage is obviously good here, but you don't want to be out of position as hard, but as well, you have to be very careful.
Counter dive. Roar comes in. Gushwei going to be taken down. Rampage goes across and it catches everybody else. The cleanup comes in. Hanbin doing wonders for them. Sure that Spark cannot get first grab at this point. Go ahead and cap it for themselves now, looking to take the lead.
Yeah. Really respect that sound barrier from Bliss as well, just to make sure that Shy on the Nano Visor wasn't going to find value. If he gets even a single kill there, things could go really wrong for the Dallas Field. Now the situation where the Torb gets to play defensively, Molten Core's there as well. Now this is where Edison should start having more impact, as it's Spark then have to dive into the fuel. With Rally and Blade coming online for the Spark, Blade online for Sparkle as well. Could be a really interesting battle between the two Genjis.
Alright, well, so just poking and prodding, 50% crested here for the side of the fuel. 2 ults apiece between the two teams. Blade Rally versus that Molten Core Blade here from the side of the fuel. Who decides to open up first. Drop down, Leave going to be pulling it. Sparkle pulling one on the opposite side, but he's instantly stunned up, taken down. Leave finding the punish. He himself going to be falling low, but Hanbin on HP drops
Oh
down, but
my
he drops right into the
Edison.
molten core, and Edison finds two. Even Shy both going to be eliminated now. It's all on Gushway and the supports. Try to turn the tide of this one, but it does not look good for them. Lengths are going to be taken out. This point is a wash, and the Fuel now going to be moving up the map point as the pull in off the knife. Monk just completely assassinated.
I can't believe how good that molten core was. Leave probably didn't expect it to just be right below his feet, but it was looking good for the Spark. Leave actually gets to play his blade, tons of damage onto Hanbin. Sparkle was instantly shield bashed and dead via Lengsa with the rally, but it ends up being a double from Edison that sets it up. Late respawn from Monk as well to slow things down as we head over towards number 4. Refinery looking like. No, this one, this was Ducks actually. Never mind. Refinery next.
Hangzhou looking to tie us up once again. Send this map into a 5th and final. Otherwise, Fuel.
Bliss.
Have this work out for them. Sparkle getting zapped away, whittled away, but Kushway does not pop the primal. He ends up just dying, thinking that the healing throughput was going to be enough to keep him alive. Now Lang's going to be taken down mid-rally. After the Nano was committed onto him. Shy able to find one, Leaf gets another one. Just trying to keep them in this fight as Kushway looks to rejoin. They're going to be cleared out. Point applied for the time being. Fuel just trying to get the cap, trying to tick up, but Leaf is pushing forward, trusting in Monk to try to keep him alive as the techs continue to come through. We're going to work him down lower, but Edison, the arrival there from MCD, a little bit too late, and now he delivers himself unto death. Kitsune Rush not finding any value whatsoever, and Hangzhou Spark will grab this for themselves.
That actually ends up being a negative from the Dallas Fuel. They started to win that fight by punishing Gushway, who greeds his primal rage. But Gushway dies early, which means he respawns early, and the huge trade on the Hanbin means the Dallas Fuel also don't have staying power. And guess what? Fuel never capped despite having control of the point. Leave and Shy clutch up big. They get a ton of counter frags, and MCD even loses an ult. So Dallas Fuel come out massively behind after all that is said and done.
Pretty catastrophic. Gushway holding onto it, ends up being a bit of a boon for him, and now has the primal rolling. Tac visor as well from Shy off screen coming through. Good damage out onto him though, and the ante from the Rampage is absolutely monstrous. Hanbin looks to turn the tide of the fight. Leave narrowly surviving with a sliver of HP. Does have that blade built up for himself now, but the flip is going to be coming through inevitably here from the side of the Dallas Fuel. But in the meantime, while they're still trying to kill off Leave, they have not gotten this cap, so the Spark are getting closer and closer to 99.
I think they're within one fight territory here. I think 77 is probably good enough. I can imagine you cap and you're already into the 80s and feel at that stage that if they don't touch basically instantly,
Almost
it's
have an Nano Blade.
likely to be gone. And that's the other thing as well, right? Well, you also get rid of Hanbin's Rampage, which is obviously a huge ultimate. The only thing that has any capability of countering is the rally, which I don't think Linkster actually had in the previous fight. So good capability. Spark can play this one slowly. Just wait for Monk. As you say, the Nano Blade likely the carry here.
Trying to take down that turret.
Monk low.
Sends out the rocket. That's going to be the turret dead. Langsa pops the rally now to keep Monk alive. The blade pulled from Leave, dashing through, finds Bliss. It's the second elimination. Sparkle was dead moments before. Again, the blade just not getting anything, just completely gets outdone here by Leave. The counter flip back into their favor. 80% now ticking up here. Hangzhou Spark might just be able to extend this one. Dallas Fuel.
They got to push up as well.
One last opportunity, but Bliss likely going to have to try to go for a touch.
Maybe Molten Core in the small room.
He's getting armored up. Molten Core now coming through, going for the chase. Going to be sleeping now within it. Spleen going to be burned down, but Sparkle again going to be taken out. Now Gushway able to find Edison to boot.
He's stuck.
Of the damage dealers taken out here. Monk going to end up falling. Over time, starting to bleed away. MCD touches forward onto the point, extends this a little bit more. Drops to Suzu, but Bliss cannot survive. Again, the Kitsune Rush just going to be leading to a lost fight here on this point. Hangzhou Spark will tie it. Now have a chance to move up the match point if they can close out.
And that extra Kitsune Rush, I think, was unrequired by MCD. You have to know you lost there. 2 supports versus 3 up from the Spark.
And that's both.
It's not going to be enough.
The last 2 that he's used just haven't gotten any value.
Well, the last one specifically, I think, was just a bad idea. You could maybe make an argument for the one previous to that, but no more Kitsune Rushes at all. It's going to be the Moira now, which I think is a big mistake as well, because you need the Kiriko versus the Ana. Now there's just no Suzu support at all. Hanbin or anybody who eats a Bionade could just be game over. Bionades are key in this matchup, and Spark, especially Monk, now know they have a major win condition that Dallas Fuel can't really counter.
Tank Visor online, point unlocked. Visor coming out first and foremost, beat. If they go on the aggressive push, I've been looking for a target there with that axe doesn't find anything, and Leave dashes through, managing to find Sparkle. Rampage going to be used, leads to Shy's death. Leave still trying to stay alive, and it looks like he will be able to do so. And Hanbin's going to get pressured out, so now it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade up here in favor of the Hangzhou Spark. Look at 3, as Edison will also get dropped. And the Stem very much poised to go ahead and get the initial cap once more.
Yep, looking good. And the more you look at the series, the more you look at the matchups, the more you think about New Junk City from yesterday. Remember, Fuel lost this to Pokerface. Muse playing the Winston.
Yep.
Maybe showing a little bit of the blueprint saying, look, on this map, you can just make the Winston work. And Gushu's like, yeah, that's good for me. I'd rather play the Winston, actually. Doom is great, but Winston is the signature for Goose, right? Now they're leading. Well, this is the final. It's not really leading, but they're leading on this particular point, on the final point. And they have 4 ultimates, by the way.
Way again, looking to apply the pressure as Leaf pulls the blade, looking for a target. Edison going to be prime real estate, cuts him down to size. That's all he's going to be able to find on this one, as we see here the Moira Coalescence rolling, but tries to keep the rest of the team alive. But as soon as that one expires, Leaf jumps right back in. Diff Sparkle once again comes up with the elimination stun on the Hanbin as the shield is raised. Langza shuts him out. It looks like this might just be a shutout on the final point as well. 75% now for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. One last attempt from the Fuel, but somebody's going to have to touch.
And there's a Primal as well. I mean, you can prevent a lot of people from touching just from the Primal alone. And this is a tough game now because Sparkle, he needs his ultimate. The Molten Core's okay, but really it's about the blade. However, I don't think Sparkle's had a successful blade yet. Every time he blades, he's just been, no, we're not even going to touch.
Yep, no, okay. This can't make it back in time. Seconds too late there from the side of the Dallas Fuel, and I think it's a similar story to what happened yesterday versus Pokerface when it came down to the last point. Either way, down and out, the Dallas Fuel find themselves in such a bad position. If they want that auto qualifier, they now need a reverse sweep, and so far their map picks have not been delivering any wins.
And their win conditions are not really showing up either. Then it's not delivering where, okay, Sparkle thermally, I think, outplayed Leave in the Echo battle on map 1 on Ilios, but now in the Genji battle, it's been Leave night and day. Sparkle dead constantly, 11 deaths. Everyone else on the team dies 7 times. To be fair, he's also been targeted. To be fair, his team is not playing the same dive comp. You have Anna and Briggs supporting Leave. Sparkle is just trying to make this Genji work with the Jungle Queen composition where the commanding shout is realistically what you have to work through. I think the swap in Moira was a mistake as well. Dallas Fuel down 0-3.
Down to the wire, one last shot to try to start something, to try to get a map win here in this series. Otherwise, maybe just another blowout delivered to the hands of the Hangzhou Spark. We'll see what happens when we come back from the break. We are back and potentially going into the end of this series as the Hangzhou Spark clearly are hungry for a 4-0 sweep. Dallas Fuel now need a reverse sweep. They want to get themselves into the playoffs, get that ticket punched over to Toronto. Otherwise, they might have to go the long route, go through the play-ins to try to qualify. And see, yeah, we got some fans coming in from Texas and somebody from Daegu as well outside of Seoul. Hello, they can't hear us.
Two very far away places from each other. The Dallas fans are here, and the good news for Dallas is that was at least a close map. The bad news is it's match point now, 0-3. Means reverse sweep. You got a reverse sweep from here on out, and in order to reverse sweep, the other thing to consider is Spark are going to have every single map choice after this. So if Dallas can win push, which is Esperanza, by the way, as chosen by Dallas, that's their best push map, given that they want to play a lot of Queen. I think Goose Ray just rolls out on the Doom here because you know it's a Queen map. But even if this is a push map win, look at Escort, Control, Escort. All three are going to end up being Spark picks, which means you can forget about playing Lee Jung Tao. It's not going to get picked. Even like any map that might be of the available pool, you can forget about Circle Royale. Not going to get picked. So all the stuff that Fuel would really want to play for the last 3 maps, suppose that we go there, not going to get picked.
Yep. I gotta win early, lose late when it comes down to these series. But now it all comes down to this. Esperanza to see whether or not it's going to be a sweep or if the Fuel can try to rally back, run something back into this one. But right now, it just feels like at every twist and turn, even when they're playing their comps, when they're playing on the maps that they've elected to, they are just frankly getting diffed by the side of the Hangzhou Spark. I mean, Leave crushing Sparkle on the Genji. Guxue just dominant in the tank position. At every twist and turn, they have just had their number. We'll see what happens now, though, as we go into this one. And Fuel need to give it everything. Otherwise, it is going to be a long week before the play-ins begin.
I think this is a good map, though. Like, I teased this at the start. I said if there's going to be a map somewhere in here that will favor the Fuel, it's got to be push. The only additional commentary I had to add to that was, ideally for Fuel, they don't end up on push 0-3 down. They would like to have a couple more maps in there somewhere as a bit of a buffer, so that as we get deeper in the series, they can have some extra map choices here or there to favor them, like, for example, the Circuit Royale, where you know that Harmon can play the Sigma and Guxue can't. Important things like that. Now they are 0-3 down, so bittersweet moment where I think they've got a good chance of winning this map, but still an upwards hill to climb. So the first step forward will come through an Esperanza. It's no Sim-Bastion. Probably a good choice. You know Guxue is going to roll that on Doom. Don't even bother with Bastion this time.
All right, well, let the opening neutrals begin. Listen back over onto the Soldier and saw some early value from that there on New Junk City. Needs to have similar impact coming into this one now as the bot gets ready to unlock. Guxue playing forward, just going to be making a quick little exit there. Bot for now in the hands of the Dallas Fuel as Lee kind of sticking around the backside here, looking to see what he can spot. Maybe a little bit of an opener, but will get forced away. So for now, very slow going from both the squads.
I actually think Guxue might swap back to Winston here. The more I think about it, the more I think the Doom is specifically good against Sebastian, but not so amazing once the Bastion is gone. And with Leave sniped out by Edison, this is the advantage Fuel been waiting for.
Sparkle also going to be taken down. Some exchange on the DPS. Fast rejoin for both of them here. The bot still steadily pushing forward to the side of the Dallas Fuel, making its way through this little underpass. Knife from Anvin, getting the connection. Just a little bit of extra damage going across. 50% of the way towards that Rampage. Guxue nearly with a Meteor Strike.
Nano is going to be important here as well. The Fuel will get a little bit there. A decent trade coming through from the Spark. Just allows the Spark to regain a little bit.
Leave trying to get on top of MCD.
Found, and that's going to allow Guxue to play a lot more aggressively.
Recall going to be forced. Nano now going to be going across. That goes over to Shy. The attack visor nearly online. Edison down low, but managing to stay alive now. Both support ults here from the side of the Dallas Fuel going to be committed into the fight, and it ends up working out. Langston and Leaf both going to be taken down. Meteor strike out from Guxue. Likely dropping down into a safer position, but for Monk and Shy, there is no escape here, and it seems like Guxue as well will fall. Kills come in. Very clean stuff overall here for the side of the Dallas Fuel. It cost them their support ultimates, but they got quite a bit out of the Hangzhou Spark as well, and now can continue the push.
Yeah, it's decently played in terms of the value brought on by the double support ultimate. Shy tried to get a little bit of damage done, but just didn't have the visor in time. Nano was available, but you couldn't link up both the Nano and the visor at the same time because Shy just was lacking slightly. Get at that ultimate. It does cost a Spark. I think a Nano visor would have definitely shifted focus a lot. And there is the swap. Like I said, I think Gushui recognizes that Winston actually is better in this matchup.
Hops into it, overclock. The shot's not finding too much, but it does buy enough space to go ahead and safely get the push into the checkpoint here for the side of the fuel. And now getting themselves that forward spawn, and Leave just caught way into the back lines, ends up getting taken out.
Yeah.
Very good punish, and now the push can continue.
He's really been able to shut down Leave, and with the Tracer gone on the flanks, yeah, I don't have to worry about what's coming behind you too much more. And Dallas Fuel can focus on this front-to-back type combat, which is what they'd rather do with the Queen. Bushui's already low.
Back visor rolling here from Shy, pushing forward, and everybody just making their escape from the side of the fuel. They know that they have some space to give up, wait out the visor, and then reaggress onto the bot. Very patiently and safely played here by them. They want to maintain this lead as best they possibly can, so Hanbin just looking to hold the gateway here. Full spawn from Leave, going to be going wide, no punish found.
Nano and Lengsa with the rally coming online soon. Shy dead though. Spark can't catch a break. They're constantly down one. It's constantly 5 versus 4 from Fuel.
Bliss with a nice early opening kill. Hanbin going to be antied out, but surviving for the time being as the blade gets pulled. Rally rolling. Lengsa trying to stay in this one. Looks like he will be able to escape. Back themselves off from the fight. The bot, again, though, in the hands of the Dallas Fuel, continues to get moved up here, staying near the checkpoint. Kitsune rush in from MCD. Gushui going to be taken down. Monk sends out the Nano. It's over on a Shy, but they're just backing away once again, breaking that line of sight, and Shy just can't get into a position safely enough to try to find any value here. Now Sparkle diving forward, finds Lengsa. Shy taken out as Bliss claims another one. Cleanup will continue. Dallas Fuel looking alive and well here on Esperanza.
Yeah, I thought the Nano was going to go to Gushui, but that actually went on to Shy. Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe Shy caught it by being in the way. A number of different things could have happened there, but Gushui needed that Nano for sure. And we've seen a couple of situations now where you just have Spark not able to align the Nano with something important. And these just neutral Nanos onto players that don't have ultimate combo have not been successful so far.
Okay, another overclock here for Medicine. Looking for some additional value. Shot in towards Leave, but doesn't find the kill. Backs away. Leave since swamped over onto the Echo, of course. All comes out with nothing. Edison gonna be down low, but they will go ahead and use the sound barrier. They want to keep him alive. They want to still operate as a full 5-man. Primal, in the meantime, at the ready here from Gushui. He's going to pop that one after falling down below half HP. Puts it to use, finds Bliss off the rip, but now Shy going to be traded on the opposite side. Edison, however, taken out. 2 for 1 here in favor of the Hangzhou Spark, who desperately need to try to find some control of this bot. I think it will at long last get it, but again, Dallas Fuel, they have forward spawns. They're going to be able to intercept.
This is a huge amount of distance to get as well. In the first 5 minutes, they get to nearly 90, 89.98. Is a really insane lead, and they basically got the cap off of 1 or 2 fights as well. So Spark got a lot of work to do. They haven't even seen a single meter so far, so it's been very one-sided for the first half of Esperanza. And, you know, as expected, this is a great map choice in terms of Esperanza itself, but also the game mode of push for the field. We expect them to be strong here. They're delivering so far. Leave with the copy.
Under pressure, Rampage out, catches on to 3. Leave with the copy, trying to build up a Rampage of his own, but can't really play out around the corner where he desperately wants to. He's not going to be getting too much value here other than holding the bot in this position.
Where's the Nano?
Now going to be taken down. I mean, it's dead on the floor. That's where it's at. Gushui trying to stay alive, but Langs has only got so much healing. Leave can't really do much of anything here as Edison will snipe him. Shot comes in. Edison finds a second. Gushui now going to be falling. The bot is once again pushing towards the Spark side of the map.
I think Spark are reading here a little bit too hard. You see multiple low HP members, specifically Gushui is low. You can't do anything until Gushui's healed back up. You've already rallied. I mean, just throw everything into the mix. Put the Nano into Gushui. Play the rally so slowly heal up. I think it was Leave that was low. But make sure that Gushui can actually stand in the front lines. Otherwise, Dallas is just surrounding you. And eventually, you're going to bleed members down. And 16 meters is all Spark get. That's a bit of a pittance, I'm not going to lie.
All right, another overclock and Shy just dead right in the middle of the ult. Edison finds himself a second. The cleanup is swift and thorough. Only one casualty here for the side of the Fuel as Bliss gets that next barrier online, and the push will continue. Now hitting triple digits are the Fuel and threatening the completion of this map.
At this point, Spark's thinking about their map 5 pick. What do we want to play for Escort, fellas? Again, not Circuit. From 17 to 16 is basically lights out. Sparkle, oh, he survives.
Yeah. does. Now just back away. Dallas Fuel very well aware of the position that they're in and how advantageous they are. Dash in, I mean, it's just so brutal. Monk Langs that both fall. Gushue dead, just nothing. No legs to stand on here. Kicked out from beneath them. Leave. Slink his way back into the respawn room as the bot gets closer and closer to the final checkpoint here with still 2.5 minutes to remain. There's still 2.5 minutes to play through. Dallas Fuel looking very much at home on this map.
Might be 20 seconds remaining because we could see a full cap here coming through, depending on how these ults pan out. Spark ulting first, Fuel holding.
Not going to be finding anything to deflect us up. Bliss tagged low, but still holds on to the beat. The rush doesn't lead to anything here. Dupe out from Leave, getting closer to the Rampage this time compared to the last. But now, barrier going to be dropped. Rampage goes in, but let's get the connection onto 3. Sparkle, however, pulls the blade, dashes across, finds 1. He will end up getting taken out by Gushue, but the damage is dealt. The bot will continue to push forward. It looks like it's all over here. A couple meters left to go. A final tag in from Gushue as the Nano comes across, but now he's going to be Rampage taken down. And that is going to be the map completed here from the side of the Dallas Fuel, barely giving up any ground to the side of the Hangzhou Spark. This series not over yet. They keep themselves afloat, but there is so much more work to be done here for the Dallas Fuel to pull off this reverse sweep, and now the Hangzhou Spark have map picks.
It's looking like an exponential journey up the mountain here. First steps, looking comfortable so far. You can still see some greenery around you. The trees are still available. But as you scale that mountain, it's all ice cold from that point onwards, as it'll be escort controlled, escort. And as mentioned previously, maps 2, 3, 4, we're going to be in the Fuel's favor, specifically map 4 on the push, and they deliver. Finally, they deliver as foretold, a full cap. But now what's going to happen for map 5?
We'll have to just wait and see. Hangzhou Spark bleeding for the first time here in this series. How much more blood do they have to give? They want to go ahead and stem that as quickly as they possibly can. We'll see if they're going to be able to do that during the break. Alrighty. We are back, and the Dallas Fuel are holding on by a thread. They get themselves a very concise map victory. Back on Esperanza, but now there's still more work yet to be done, as they need to pull off this reverse sweep, and that has to be done through the map picks of the Hangzhou Spark.
And all the map picks of the Hangzhou Spark will only be their map picks from here on out. A pathway is certainly still there. It's not impossible for the field. They get a huge confidence boost from winning Esperanza. And it's not just a win, right? I mean, they completely destroyed the Spark there. It's a full cap through. That is the most comprehensive way you can beat another team, because on any push map, capping through the entire map is quite rare. So for Dallas, we have to do that to essentially win every single fight. Spark ended with how much meters? 16? Basically nothing, really.
Yeah, barely anything.
Spark were kind of missing from that game overall. I mean, Leave on the Echo started to apply a little bit more, but still not quite enough. But we expected push to be good for Fuel. Spark, not their best map, sadly. Pineapple not coming in for Langset, which means it's time for double flex support. Goose should come through on the Arista next map. And you know what, might as well talk about it now. It will be Dorado. So Spark are going to obviously pick everything that they believe is going to be good for them. I did not originally... I was debating whether Dorado would actually be a good pick or not. The reason for that is I think what Dallas Fuel bring to the table is actually still pretty good on Dorado. Now, we saw a little bit of that Dorado yesterday between Infernal and Dynasty. And when you consider the TP strats with the Bastion setups that you can do on Dorado, it's actually not that bad for what Fuel want to play.
Sure.
So it is possible here. It is possible here for sure. This is, you know, of the available escorts, if I run through them, Circuit would have been top tier, obviously, for the Dallas Fuel. You're just not going to see that today. I would have thought Gibraltar would have been a better map choice for Spark, but they can still go to Gibraltar at number 7 if we go that far.
Well, we'll see if we get there, what it's going to be. There you go. All right, so Dorado to start. More potentially on the horizon, depending on where the Hangzhou Spark opt to go if this series gets extended. But Dallas Fuel, they need to be entrenched. They need to have just feet firmly planted on the floor to be able to bring this one back and carry on their merry way. What a reverse sweep it would be. One of the most meaningful ones that we would have seen in quite some time. It's still such an upward path.
Especially considering what you get when you reach the summit. I mean, this isn't just a nice photo for Instagram. You get to go to the playoffs. You get to get really, I mean, not quite a trophy at the summit, but you get a nice plane ticket. You get several plane tickets at the top of the summit, and handshake from Sean saying welcome to Toronto, and that would be really nice for the Dallas Fuel. But even if they lose, they get to go through play-ins. That will be potentially a tough journey. We'll see how that plays through, depending on how our Group B final goes as well. For Dallas, hope remains. Esperanza was an incredibly good map. You can hold on to that for now, and hoping that as you go mountaineering, that hopium/copium is as useful as oxygen in terms of what you can breathe.
Yeah. This is the first summit. This is the first base camp. There's many, many more along the way as they climb this Everest that they find themselves on. See if they can reach the next one rather, or if they're going to run out of oxygen, as you were putting it. But we'll get ready to go out the gate here, up onto the high ground. Hanbin here on the Arisa.
Okay. A different look for the field. He hasn't really... I mean, obviously it's Harmon, he can play whatever, but it's been Junker Queen like the entire time through. A little bit of Diva, a little bit of Sigma. Haven't really seen the Hanbin Arista come through, so they're now looking into, you know, what other teams have been playing. I mean, we obviously talked about Dynasty and Infernal. Both teams have played plenty of the Arista double flex. Now it's Fuel's turn. But of course, if you want to play some Bastion, Gushue is like, it's time for Doom.
Shy along the back sides there. Mortality field going to be cleared out. Gushue dead, trying to dive forward off the back of the ante, which was huge from Monk, but kill's just not going to be found. Monk now going to be taken down, as I mentioned his name. I believe also in a bit of a precarious position here. I think this guy's trying to make his exit. Looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. Continuing to
see the lamp coming through. Blitz dropping the Immortality field really saved the day for the Dallas field. And then Gushue was just stuck power blocking instead of being able to punch away Edison. That's that line of play. Leave, though, getting a ton of damage. I mean, for one skirmish and you lose, Leave getting 72 is pretty good.
I mean, he's been doing it consistently no matter what the pick is. Seen that from him all day so far. Shy, however, going to be taken down. And well, the one ult that you might really like to have rapidly built up is that EMP, but it's not going to be the case. Only at 32% as he falls once more. Leave the dupe now but to be online, and Shy says, screw it, I'm going for the Widowmaker.
They go for some long range here. Pineapple down as well. I mean, that's just going to slow things down significantly. The Spark have no payload push, by the way, so it's not like they're secretly moving the payload up and now they're forcing map control. Nope, payload is essentially still at spawn. Spark have done very little for a minute 30, except build up this duplicate. What do you even call? Okay, just
okay. A rough spot. Wants to use it. Does end up manage to take him down. Now spinning forward, looking to try to get MCD. He's going to take the quick burst up onto the high ground here. As the next follow-up javelin is not going to be able to find any connection there. Leave now going to be broken out of that dupe. Terror Surge not built up, not going to be finding anything as Hanbin just TPing back, keeps himself alive. A little bit of space spot here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark with half the time bank taken away. Cart brought up now into the underpass. Breaking through into the marketplace, that's where things become increasingly difficult. Shot there would have been a big opener from Shy, but he's unable to find it.
Spark have momentum now. I do not know what Blood was doing down there. What? Edison, why? Why were you there? Are you just dying? Now the snipe comes through Shy. He was going to find one eventually, and now things looking really bad from Dallas Fuel.
Sparkle's dead. Bliss does manage to find Leave. Peels off quite a bit of that damage, though. It's up for that healing pylon, but he's going to get knocked into the corner. Taken out. Monk with it. Lob in there on that anti, managing to find the kill. Hanbin up here onto the high ground, finds one, pops the Terror Surge, wants to try to confirm the kill on a Monk, does manage to do so, and Hanbin looks to hold the line. Grabs the mini pack and stops the push a little bit here for now, but Shy, oh my god, quick push on the corner, just takes him out.
We're holding the choke so far. Dallas, that is a super late death. Well, Dallas can't contest without Orisa. Hanbin's got to get back ASIC, and they used all the ultimates, by the way, and they did not really win the fight. Sparkle
pushed away from the teleporter. He's looking for the catch here. Shy finds yet another headshot. Yep, Sparkle will end up going down to the Meteor Strike. The slide in from Edison. This, I mean, set up for it. Has the spot on him from the poison trap. Gets the kill. And that's going to be Hangzhou Spark getting themselves over here towards point A. After they just clear out the cart, Hanbin dead again means that this one is absolutely donezo.
Wow.
2.5 minute bump up.
I mean, that was like really bad for the Spark until they got a tiny bit of momentum. Just a tiny bit. And just like a journey up the snakes and ladders, this is where Fuel unfortunately hit a massive snake and down they go. My goodness, and they have had to make some considerable swaps to the comp here as well. This is a very different looking team now. They're still playing a Orisa double flex, but with now the Genji and the Sojin, which normally you saw that with the Junker Queen, so it's a bit of a mixed bag type of composition with the Bash and Gong, Gooseray swaps off the Doom. Are longer requiring than that. Nano Blade's about to come online also.
Yeah, I mean, Leave again. I mean, just moving over onto the Genji, rapidly building up the blades. What else is new? Sparkle has his work cut out for him now to try to catch up. On the hunt, really just trying to pursue and find Shy, who does get top back up to full HP. It's the card for now. So just inching forward. Decently easy shot whiff there from Shy as he continues to challenge. He's going to try to spray from range, and Edison says, what the hell are you doing, man? My Gatling gun's a little bit better than yours. Manages to take him out. Gushway narrowly escaping while antied.
Leave, here we go. Nanoblade, that's what we've been waiting for.
And it's popped. Sparkle the first to die. Now the dash forward. Looking for the follow-up kill. It's going to be Bliss. Taking out MCD. Trying with this nano to put it to good use, but we'll just end up getting Goomba stomped here. So all wasted. Edison now sliding into the wall. Gets taken out. Gushway will just Goomba stomp another one. The cart can continue to push forward. Decent time here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Half the time big drained away, but not far off from getting that extra little bump up.
Spark just jumping on old reliable there, the Nanoblade, always going to deliver value, and shades of, what map was it? New Junk City, with Sparkle just getting destroyed by that blade. See if Edison can turn things around. And good on the overclock so far. Yep, there it is. Goose rate dead, 93%.
Terror Surge coming through. Good opening kills. Terror Surge just clears things out. And some quick peek on the corner. We'll go ahead and just get the headshot across. And that's going to be the shutdown. 2 meters away from point B. Now a minute remaining here for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. Ult's expended. So Shy going to be swapping over onto the Hangzhou. It's just going to be that primal that they have to play through.
Once you're getting ready to cap, I can see the value in the Dragon Strike. Part of me kind of wishes he's on Soldier, but I can see the Hanzo as well. Some of the high ground control is nice, being able to wall climb and just instantly set up with your other divers. MCD with the Captive Sun. Blade time for Sparkle. No nano, unfortunately, from Bliss to back that one up. But Fuel have the tools required. I think Fuel can definitely hold. Shy. Oh, caught something. Caught a spear.
He's going to be safe for now. The dash in Sparkle. So very low. Dashes up onto the high ground. Receives the healing. They keep him sustained for the time being. Bliss, in the meantime, operating all on his lonesome. Left out the dry. The sleep dart not connecting. Even if it had, he was already dead on the floor. Blade pulled from Sparkle, finds one. Leaf gonna be taken out, looks for a little bit more, sets up the kill on the Shy as Edison gets the headshot. Zaps in from Gushue, still holds onto the Primal Rage, looking for a little bit more. Now pops it, juggles Sparkle into the wall, finds the elimination. The cart pushing forward, the touch needs to come through. It's Hanbin there, he tries to force them back. The Javelin comes across, but there's just too much pressure coming through. Bill's being pumped into Hanbin, but the ante goes out. Monk able to set up for the kill, and the cap comes in. A minute and a half now remaining for the Hangzhou Spark.
Yeah, that was almost, I wouldn't say it's a clutch, but they certainly were able to bleed that time and down. Hanbin just staying alive. The pylon on the side of the map living for a long time. And that was what was primarily healing Hanbin when MCD and Bliss went down. On to C we go now. So much early damage from the Spark, just put directly into Sparkle, and so it was under pressure from the get-go. Still just enough time, I think, for Spark to maybe cap, but there's still a Nano Blade about to be there as well. We saw what Leaf did with that last time.
Well, could be an OT finish, unless they just manage to stomp their way through the rest of this one. They do have the Nano Blade to try to set up. Monk just tries to keep everybody alive for the time being. Another Javelin connecting there on the Shy, but yeah, the distance is pretty slow going. But there's the Nano out cross. The Blade going to be pulled. Edison jumped on, has a Nano himself, but cannot survive. Shy hoping to set up, making him a little bit more easy to chase down with that nade across. They get the kill. Find a couple more. The support's now backpedaling over in towards the spawn. Bliss narrowly staying alive. Sleep Dart going to be on a cooldown for now as the cart rounds the final corner. 18 seconds remaining. As you say, Kitsune Rush is at the ready. Sends it. They're looking to try to body block this one. Somebody's going to have to touch. They dump forward. They manage to get it. Sparkle going to keep this one. Finds enough space and time here for Hanbin, but he's going to die before the Terror Surge can come online. The cleanup continues, and it looks like with just 2.6 seconds remaining, Hangzhou Spark will make it to the end of the map.
Yeah, the Kitsune Rush adding tons of value there as well. And Sparkle having to swap over towards the Tracer just to enable the touch. Straight into the loving arms of the Hangzhou Spark, collecting kills. Shy coming through even on the Sojourn. Talk about legendary Sojourn players. Dropping Edison down. And I think the most important part of all of that, Hanbin, unfortunately, not quite there with the Terror Surge just yet. As the payload is trying to he's trying to figure his way out in terms of parking there. A little of extra arcs required. A little bit of highlight reel from Shy on A. Took it a little bit for Shy to warm up in the Widowmaker, but he got there eventually.
Yeah. I saw the first couple shots not going his way, but then it very much started pounding. But a decent effort here from the side of the Dallas Fuel. Slowing them down, can't quite force them into OT, but it's on escort, so it doesn't matter too much. Either way, there's going to be a bump up if we go to extra innings. It'll be a very close affair between the two teams, just given that there's not much time remaining for the side of the Hangzhou Spark. But it's going to be a change up now. Shy starting on the Widowmaker, leave onto the Tracer with Gushue back onto the ball.
Hello. I have to work with you. Babysitting is
This is that Soul Dynasty type beat we're looking at on the Dorado A defense. I mean, this would have been a great place for Lee to play the Echo again, but they want to go for a lot of long range again. We saw this comp earlier, right? It's a double flex support. Shy Widowmaker or Shy some type of sniper. Leave and Gushue working as a two-man unit. And if Ballas Rhea was anything to go by, it's a lot of slamming on near the spawn gates during this early choke as well. And then your long-range snipers just start pumping damage onto the members knocked up.
Waiting for somebody to go ahead and poke their head around the corner. Teleport. Can get on top of this Widowmaker very swiftly. You can see the wrap around the corner, and he's left out the dry. Shy cannot exit as Edison just guns down two. Looks for a third. Clears out the immortality. Now goes into the recon form. It's going to be the nade that actually takes out Monk. A very swift play here from the side of the Fuels. Gushue goes bouncing into the back lines, but it's just delivering himself to death. Edison giving all the kills there in the fight, and now the cart broken through into the marketplace right off the rip.
See what Gushue does here. Is the Doom going to come through straight away? Because, you know, the ball is okay for the early parts of A. I don't know really how long you want to stay, so there it is. No surprise to the Doom, but he's fairly delayed, which means a touch is going to have to happen in the final hour. Maybe even leave going for this. Spark have no setup at all.
Just trying to make this entry to the point completely unassailable here for them. As Hanbin up onto the high ground, trying to keep them at arm's length. The touch not going to be found at all. This Monk and Leaf will both die. Yep, just pushing their way through, just absolutely steamrolling, and now 5 minutes to work with to try to get to B.
It's just a good counter comp from Dallas Fuel. I mean, they see the lack of the Doom there. They see it's going to be a ball composition. They know what the game plan is. Let's go back over towards Bash and Sim. TP on to the back line of the snipers. instantly take them out. I mean, you got to be ready for that if you're Shy, and Spark just never recovered from that momentum that Fuel had. So instant cap onto A is going to give them a lot of confidence, but see how things slow down now as the Spark are on the actual comp they'd like to play when there is no longer a Bastion as Edison will swap off.
Works down about half HP. Shot still going his way here from Sparkle, but Hanbin going to be taken out, and that's going to be some card control established for the side of the Spark, just trying to lock it on this corner. These players potentially in a bit of a precarious spot, but so too is Leave. Playing back behind this one, but Sparkle eventually ends up falling Shy on this hard angle right from the exit of the marketplace. Yeah, Edison going to match.
It's been a while. It's been a minute since we've seen Edison Widowmaker. This is how they want it. It's just straight up pressured by Gusho. He's waiting.
One of his old debut picks all the way back in Contenders 2018 that really put him center stage. And for Sight, though, built up here for Shy, gets the dink through onto Hanbin, continues to work him lower and lower, but the heals are going to be found. Bliss tries to get that nano online. Otherwise, they're just going to be waiting out this ultimate, it would seem. Edison, however, jumped on the combo of Leave and Gushue. They managed to find the kill.
It's just annoying for Edison to deal with at the moment because, I mean, they can't put the same pressure on the Shy, whereas Gushue is just around the corner every time Edison wants to scope in. He has to start considering whether this is the right pick or not. Also, by the way, this Symmetra pick for Sparkle is starting to become less of value as well. I'll talk about that later.
Blade pulled, Sparkle instantly dealt with. MCD going to be gone as well. Very swift triple kill coming through, maybe even the 4K. Now Gushue will take that one for himself as they just look for Hanbin. They won't allow him to escape, so Leave does get his fourth in the end. That's going to be a very nice little double ult combo into a fight win. So far, 2.5 minutes bought off the time bank.
I mean, there's a lot of ultimates with Feel, and that's partially why that last fight was particularly tragic, because you would have liked to have seen Feel maybe initiate with something, get rid of that photon barrier, start opening up Sparkle's picks as well. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's not bad.
I mean, that's pretty damn good, if you ask me.
Spark can't just pull back though. They just give away some space.
Still more to work with here for them. Photon barrier TP up onto the high ground for the side of the Dallas Fuel. Just continuing to open up space. Everybody in the Hangzhou Spark exiting back through the bank. Over towards the spawn exit. Staying alive for now. Edison, that final shot builds up the emphasis. Shy, however, finding Sparkle before the teleporter can be taken. Still trying to duke this one out here versus MCD. Pulls back away with the grapple hook. Gushue jumping forward, puts the fists up, keeps himself protected for now, has the meteor strike in case he needs to bail out, and Hanbin now going to be antied out. Punch away, knocking him back, MCD. Kill comes in, Shy again finds his man.
The time is significantly down now as well. Speaking of finding your man, Gushue chasing Edison once more, and he ain't done chasing. This could be a kill, 6 HP, good night. Dallasfield still sitting on a ton of ultimates, and they've only just spent like the 2. I mean, the Infrasight came up a little bit later on. Spark's still holding strong. They got a little bit more distance, but it's about 1:30 left to go through here. Where does this nano even go? I mean, I guess it's nano Hanbin. No one else to really nano here.
Yeah, not really a good choice. I mean, it's that or MCD, which we did see before. With the Captive Sun, I mean, I guess it could be a good play, but now Sparkle going to be taken out. Pineapple.
He's on a respawn
simulator.
simulator.
Kill. Yeah, it's not been able to stay alive at all. MCD down in a rough spot, jumps forward into the bank, but he's isolated himself. Nano now has to be invested. There's the Captive Sun, there's the kill. Leave going to be taken down. Gushue exits with a meteor strike. Himself safe for now. Cart again inching forward. A minute remaining here for the side of the Dallas Fuel. Gushue getting whittled away at, still at half HP, but Pineapple is utilizing that low bar to try to get that Captive Sun up. Gushue gets a punish. MCD going to be taken out. Fists raised, just tucks around the corner, stays alive. Terror Surge, massive dragon, looking for the eliminations, and they'll be able to get Monk before he exits, but then Gushue follows up with a punch and gets the kill. Body shot in here from Shy, takes Bliss low, just trying to stay alive as best as humanly possible. Bliss tries to actually kind of counteract that. But yeah, the stagger comes in, and that's catastrophic here for the Fuel, who now have 30 seconds left.
I mean, cool, Hanbin ulted, but that's not worth him dying. He just gets punched directly into Spark's face. Time! And this is the final map, by the way. Potentially the final map is looking like it will be. Double support ultimates on board for Monk and Pineapple. Was the Nano Sun cool from MCD? I guess, and Lee felt that personally. However, don't think it really allows the Fuel to be able to win this map. Not just yet. They're completely out, and I don't think the Infrasight's going to be the difference maker.
Shy. Heals coming across. He's down to 14. 44, I should say. keep him alive. Gushue going to be antied out. Nano committed on the leave. Now Gushue will fall, but Leave can do all of the work himself. Edison dead. Dashes down onto the road ground. Finishes off Hanbin. The overtime now starting to bleed out, and Sparkle is the only one left standing, and he is nowhere near the cart. That is going to be it. A successful defense here in front of point B gives Hangzhou Spark the win. They shut down the reverse sweep dreams. They shut down the playoff punching ticket dreams here for the Dallas Fuel. They take them out execution style and they say, you know what? We are the gatekeepers and you are not allowed to pass. You have to make your way to Toronto through the play-ins.
Hangzhou Spark say, we've already clinched, and then you don't clinch twice. We want to really make sure you don't clinch twice, even though we've already clinched. And you know, there was that question of what does a Hangzhou Spark team look like when really this game to them was kind of just for fun. They had no stakes here. They were just kind of rolling up, playing a game of Overwatch and getting ready, packing their bags to Toronto a little bit later on. However, for the field, they had everything to play for, and Spark still said, no, you got to do this the hard way. Go down to the play-ins. And well, for the Spark, I think the good news for the other game is now the Group B finals does have stakes involved as well. But Gushue, player of the match here, you know, early on, you just see once again the Doom ruining the day for the side of the Dallas Fuel. But surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, he played a ton of Winston today. That's what he's known for.
Yeah, I mean, and it was just immaculate. Every time he ended up shifting over to that one, the Winston was looking quite strong for them. It's a very strong effort overall from the side of the Hangzhou Spark. I mean, everybody had their moments here. Monk with some fantastic antis. You think back to Langza forcing out the C9 all the way back on Ilios on Lighthouse to close out that map when it was a winning fight for the side of the Dallas Fuel. Everybody had their moments in the spotlight. Shy, great highlights. Leave, I think, definitely right up there in contention for player of the match today because, good God, he was on one. Every single time he decided to pivot a pick, he came out of a fight and basically had an ultimate online. His ult build times were rabid. But Gushue, throughout an incredible amount of impact here, leading the charge, leading the Spark towards this victory, shutting the door here on the Dallas Fuel.
I mean, any player, any Winston player that can make a Winston work into the counter of the Jungle Queen, that's something to behold. Especially into, it's not just any Jungle Queen, we're talking about Harbin here as well, who's in contention to be the best Jungle Queen maybe in the world. And Gushue is like, well, I'm the best Winston in the world. Well, with an asterisk, some people might contest that, but he's one of the best. We'll just leave it at that for now, because we don't have to get into an argument on the broadcast. He's a primal blade. He's on the Mount Rushmore of Winstons is the point. And well, if anyone can make a Winston work in the Jungle Queen, it's got to be Gushue. And by and large, Hangzhou Spark, they had all the comps ready to go. They completely removed the Bastion from play, because that's what the Doom is really there for. It's to ruin Edison's day. I think Edison's day did get a little bit ruined there. He looked good on the Sojin, but the Bastion was honestly a no-show, because every time you bring the Bastion out, you just get punched around the map. And then what else was there? We had we had a little bit of Soldier. That was okay, but I think we agreed that wasn't the best look for the field. And then the Widowmaker, unfortunately, well, Gushue is once again just always in your face.
Yeah, I mean, Gushue was in your face. You've got Shy on the opposite side. We also saw him kind of forced onto the Symmetra because the Sombra was being played on Numbani by Sparkle. So I think overall fairly disjointed. And I think that the Fuel fans, this is going to be a disappointing loss. And I think that they're going to be pointing quite a many few fingers at different players. I think that they need to point the fingers at everybody because honestly, maybe Hanbin, you can give an excuse.
5 fingers, 5 players. You can do it on one hand. That's called efficiency. Yeah,
people are going to be like, well, MCD did this, and that's why they lost. Like, trust me, everybody was just getting diffed across the board. This was not an individual player's performance that ended up costing them this one. This was just the Hangzhou Spark in every single role being leaps and bounds above them here on the day. And that's now twice in a row that has been the case. So I think that Fuel still with a decent shot going to the play-ins. Obviously, we still give them quite a bit of favor, given that the Infernal are in a weakened state without Fixa, given that the Dynasty still have a lot to prove for themselves, etc. So there's still a decent opportunity here for them, but they need to have stronger performances. We need to see that impact from Sparkle that was significantly lacking. We need to see Edison finding value on Bastion, something that he was not really able to get too much aside from that opener there on Dorado. So overall, it just needs to be a level up for them if they want to make it over to Toronto.
They caught Spark slipping with the whole ball composition. You know, a little bit too much cooking with the ball, I think, across a couple of days here in APAC. But Yeah, I think when Gushue has the Doom in the pocket, playing the Bastion, you ask me just to lose there. Again, there was some weird moments as well. I mean, there was that moment where Dallas Fuel looking great, and then Edison's Bastion was randomly on the floor. Maybe he got punched. I don't know how he got down there, but that one death snowballed the heck out of Spark's push. But to be honest with you, this one was going to be a bit of a tough run for the Dallas Fuel, given that they were 0-3 to start out, and this is head-to-head for the entire year versus the Spark. Yep. It's now 0-4. This is the one team Fuel just have not been able to beat. You could argue progress has been made. They've at least got a map this time, because, well, you have to go to a push when there's a first-to-4 game format being played in the finals. It's the other maps. It's the first three, man. It's the first three maps that you can't do much against the Spark, and that needs to be addressed. But for now, Dallas Fuel, they got to address the other teams. The good news for the Dallas Fuel is Spark's gone. You don't have to worry about the Spark again. You now have to worry about the other teams of the planes instead.
That boogeyman is out of reach for the time being, but you never know. Might have that clash later on if they can make it to Toronto. Maybe it ends up happening. Maybe those, the APAC teams end up having to cannibalize each other depending on how brackets shake out. We'll have to just wait and see. But a somber day, I think, for the side of the Dallas Fuel. Would have definitely liked to have seen them push this a little bit further. Yes, they get that one map win, and they did look quite good on it. But unfortunately, it's just not nearly enough to be able to find a victory here. So Spark continue to hold their heads high. They're already qualified, and now they get this to really just prove a point, saying like, we need to be feared. Everybody who's going to be going to Toronto, be scared of us. So I think that they got their message across. We're going to be talking to Monk, I believe, in a little bit here. So we're just waiting for the interview to get set up. And of course, we'll have translations, and we'll go ahead and get ready to pick his brain about the playoffs in general. So excited to talk to him. So as soon as that is ready, we should be diving into that interview. So it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say. Hopefully he's got something a little bit spicy for us.
While we're waiting, I'll just sort of update everyone on what the current stakes are. So
yes, please.
Dallas Fuel down and out, and out in the play-ins. They're not eliminated, folks. Their season is still alive, just to be clear. That means a Group B finals, Dynasty versus O2 Blast. Here's how it works. If O2 Blast win, if they just win, they go to playoffs. They go to Toronto, and a contenders team gets to be in the playoffs of the Overwatch League. If the Dynasty wins, Infernal go to playoffs. Dynasty, they're in the plans no matter what. Dynasty's fate is sealed for now. All Dynasty can do is help out Infernal, really.
Yep.
And also, arguably, help themselves out by, I would say, weakening the play-ins bracket, because if Infernal get dropped into the play-ins and O2 Blast go to Toronto, it makes the play-ins more difficult for everybody. So, actually, there's good incentive here for Dynasty to still win. I'm sure they would have wanted to win anyway. But I think the interview's here, so we'll have a chat with Monk first.
All right, let's go ahead and jump straight into it here. So, hello, Monk. Ni hao. Good to see you, and congratulations on the win.
Hi.
All right.
Monk.
All right. I'll wait.
Oh yeah. Please go on, Avro.
All right. Just wanted to ask. You've now taken down the Dallas Fuel. You were already confirmed into the playoffs. But did you want to really send a message with this series and say that, you are a scary team that everybody in the playoffs is going to have to worry about?
那么首先也是恭喜获胜，然后杭州队现在其实是一个已经确定进入季后赛的保送席位了。但是对于这场比赛，你是不是还是有没有想说的话呢？因为我感觉在这整个 knockout 里，好像杭州队都有点像大魔王一样，就是谁都打不过。
谁都打不过，
我就是说大家都打不过你们，我就有点这种感觉，感觉杭州队现在状态很好。
就五个人都很想赢啊，所以就打得赢。
So for the whole series, it's just like all of us just really eager to win, and we all work hard. So that's all. We are keep winning.
I think
so before we talk about playoffs, I'll just ask you a question about the match we just played. This is the fourth time this year, but the second time in the playoffs you played against the Dallas Fuel. Now, previously you beat them very comprehensively. It was a 3-0. This time around you did lose the push, so it was a little bit closer. Do you think something went wrong on push? Do you think Dallas improved a little bit? What happened on push?
上一次打达拉斯是比较干净利落的3-0嘛，今天在 push 图上面是被达拉斯扳回了1分，想问一下，就对于输掉的这张 push 图有什么看法呢？ 觉不觉得今天的比赛好像打得更加接近一点？
达拉斯改变了很多东西，他大白图让我们有点意想不到，然后我们自身技能也交拉了嘛，所以没打过。
And so we can see that as they made a lot of changes in order to perform better, and they like bring us a lot of unexpected issues on that push maps, so which made us like a little bit nervous. So we also had some like mistakes on ability and ult controls, so that's why we lost that map.
I want to talk about the playoffs now, because obviously you guys have been qualified for this one. This was just kind of a cherry on top, denying the fuel and pushing them into the play-ins. I'm just curious, how confident are you going into the playoffs, and are there any teams from the North American side that in particular you really want to challenge or maybe get revenge on after mid-season madness? So who are you looking forward to playing against in Toronto?
那么说到接下来季后赛，想问一下杭州队这边有没有哪支队伍是就哪支北美队伍是特别想面对到的，或者是说比如可以是因为在季中赛中觉得没有打好，然后想在季后赛中获得复仇的北美队伍？
我想打一次神枪手，我想复仇一下树。
好的，有什么要补充的吗？
没有了。
Okay, so Monk said he personally really want to face against Houston Outlaws again. He want to get his revenge on Shu. Yeah, another really great flex support player.
Final question from me. We are also looking towards a new patch as well. How do you feel about the recent mid-season patch? Zarya's looking very strong there. Not something that Gushue usually plays. So is that going to change much for your team as we head into playoffs?
那么下一个问题是关于新的补丁的。我们感觉新的补丁里好像扎利亚变得强势了很多，但这个英雄并不是孤血的强势英雄。想问一下，你觉得这个补丁你个人有什么样的看法？然后觉不觉得它会对你们队伍造成一些影响？
还没尝试吧这个版本，但我相信血神，他一定能拿出他最好的东西。好了。
好的，就这样是吗？
对的。
So I haven't played this new patch a lot, so I can't say much about it. But we always have faith in our God Xue. We believe he can perform his best no matter like what tank meta it is.
All right. Well, I mean, I think that's about it. So thank you so much, Monk. It's good to pick your brain, and we look forward to seeing you in Toronto doing some damage and representing APAC. So xie, and we'll catch you next time. But that's going to do it for the interview, and I believe that's going to do it for us for the time being, because now we're going to get ready to go to a break. And then when we come back, we're going to have our final series here, the Group B Finals, Dynasty versus O2. Let's see what happens, but don't go anywhere.